Remember the entire force I bring before you. Pass by our police station this hour, blessed Lord. Reach out and touch each and every one, those on duty, those out of duty. Remember them this morning. I bring the SSU before you. Father, pass by every camp this hour, Lord. Both male and female, they are in your hand. Father, teach them to love and to unite and to understand each other this hour, blessed Lord. Satan, Satan, change towards them this hour, Master. Father God, take them in charge. If thou be so pleased, what could I tell you, Lord? Remember every drive I bring before you. Throughout the world this hour, blessed Lord. Father God, the youths this morning, blessed Lord. Remember them, Lord, and have mercy on them. Forgive them, Jesus, for anything they have done which is wrong, my God and my King. Remember the boat on the ocean, this our Lord, each and every one of them, Lord. Remember the coast, God, I bring before you. Father God, in a time like now, you know, outside there is not easy. But in the going, Lord, you go with them. In the remaining, Lord, remain with them and cover them. And when they're about to come back, please, Jesus, bring them back safe and sound. My God and my King, the fishermen, I ask you, Lord, I'm begging you, Jesus, to help them to have a catch, because that is what they depend on, this our blessed Lord, my God and my King. Father, the bosses, the driver, the conductor, the passenger, the sick and afflicted one, those on the hospital bed, pain, rackle, mortal body, and when it's day, they cry for night, and when it's night, they cry for day. But Jesus, I know there is nothing you cannot do for them. Remember the nurses I bring before you. Remember the doctors. Remember all the workers this hour, blessed Lord. Pass by ICU this morning. Those who are inside the Lord, remember them in the doors of mercy and shutting Satan chain towards them. Remember them this morning, blessed Lord. Those in childbirth I bring before you. I'm asking you, Lord, and I'm begging you, Jesus, to grant them a safe deliverance. Those preparing themselves for the apparition table, reach out and touch them, Lord, my God and my King. This morning, Lord, hear me cry. Hear me pleading unto you this hour, Lord. Hear me groaning unto you this hour, Master. Father God, remember all those sick ones what in the home. Teach those what you are helping them, Lord, to love and to unite with them. Because, Father God, there is a baby this hour, blessed Lord. Remember each and every one of them this hour, Master. Take them in charge if thou be so pleased. Pass by the prison, Lord. Remember the image I bring before you. Father, each and every one of them inside the Lord. All those who are taking care of them, I bring them before you, Lord. Pass by the mental home this morning. Remember each and every one of them this hour, Lord. Pass by the rich man home this hour, Lord. Remember every home I bring before you. Father, the home for the aged one this hour, Lord. Father God, take them in charge if thou be so pleased. Remember Miss Jacob I bring before you. Father, you knows everything about her, Lord. What could I tell you what you don't know? Father, not she alone, but each and every one of them are dwelling in that home. I bring each and every one of them before you this hour, Master. Take them in charge, Jesus. You say, oh Lord, how excellent is thy name in all thy earth. You say, hear my cry, O Lord, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, to lead me to the rock that is higher than I. This morning, Lord, I bring your hand before you this hour, Lord. For thy far away from us, but Jesus is close to you, Lord. Remember ye home of abode. Remember ye mother I bring before you. Remember ye father this hour, blessed Lord. Father, remember the brothers and his sisters. For thy whole household I bring before you this hour, Lord. Take each and every one of them in charge. Your grandmother, if thou be so pleased. Father, you know the road is rough. You know the road is tough, but with you, Jesus, everything will be good. Remember Miss Matterson this morning, blessed Lord. Pass by she home, each and every one of them are dwelling in the home. Help them this hour, Lord. Give them strength, my God and my King. Remember, Miss Job. Remember Miss Job, Lord. Pass by Hermitage. Remember my friend in Hermitage, Lord. Each and every one this hour, blessed Lord. Those I could mention and those I cannot mention. Father, they all are your children this morning. Remember I go this morning, Lord. I bring that son before you. thanking you for life for him this hour, Lord. He breathing unto you this hour, Master. Remember you whom you left behind. Each and every one of them in that home. I ask you to bless them if thou be so pleased. It might be small, but share the blessing unto each and every one. Cover them under your blood this hour, Lord. My God and my King. Remember that son, willing servant in the vineyard this hour, Master. Take him in charge. Mr. Andre, I bring before you. Wheresoever I locate, guide him and protect him. Bless him if thou be so pleased. Father God, strength and health, my God and my King. I bring all the other staff before you, both male and female. They all is in your hand. Take them in charge, Lord. Bind them together like one bundle of stick that cannot be broken. Hear they cry unto you this hour, blessed Lord. Shutting Satan chain this hour, Master. That radio station I bring before you. Remember the folk and the bounding center. Even the chasla, the door, the entire of the gap, the surrounding of the yard. I bring that place before you, Lord, my God and my King. Keep it in the act of safety. Remember, call this morning, blessed Lord. Remember each and every one of them this hour, Lord. I cannot name them one by one. But, Master, you are the children, Lord. You know each and every one of them this morning. Take them in charge if thou be so pleased. Father God, remember those who are preaching the word this hour, blessed Lord. Father, remember all those ministers this hour, blessed Lord. My God and my King. Father, help them this hour, Lord, to do what you want them to do. My God and my Redeemer, my village and my people, as you tell disciples to say, Our Father which art in heaven, holy be thy name. You said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You said, give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen and amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasant weekend.
You too.
All right.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, what you say, when you talk.
It's a hungry world out there.
Good morning again, folks. As we head over to the Met Office, we speak with Mr. Jonathan Price. Good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning, listeners. Here is the weather for today, Friday the 13th of October, 2023, as recorded at the Mars Bishop International Airport. It is currently cloudy with winds coming from the east at 13 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1011.2 millibars, which is below normal and rising. Present temperature is 29.3 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 83%. Yesterday's maximum was 32.1 degrees Celsius and the minimum last night, 27.4 degrees Celsius. No rainfall was recorded over the past 24 hours, hence the total for the month remains at 20.7 millimeters. And now for the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique weather for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be fair, becoming partly cloudy at times, with brief, isolated daytime showers. Today's maximum will be 32 degrees Celsius with winds easterly to southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas will be slight and moderate with waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. Low tide will be at 8 a.m. and high tide at 2 p.m. Sunset will be at 5:50 and sunrise at 5:57. Just repeat the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique weather for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be fair, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief, isolated daytime showers. From the forecast desk at the Mars Bishop International Airport, I'm Jonathan Price. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, what you say, when you talk.
It's a hungry world out there. with everybody scrambling to get a shed. Clothing.
91.5 Real FM got you covered.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
Good morning, nation. A reading from the Word of God 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that made us, and not ourselves. We are the people of the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endure to all generations. This is the end of the scripture reading.
Thank you very much.
And you have a wonderful day, and a lovely weekend.
You too.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
91.5 Real FM got you covered.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it, and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price. And they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Trinidad's homegrown furniture producers.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come color. Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color. Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression. Color.
Sissons. Express your style with color by Sissons.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&N Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&N Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more. With Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Join the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives for the observance of World Food Day celebrations October 16 to 20th, 2023 under the theme Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Monday, October 16th, the minister's address to the nation and panel discussion dissecting the issue of water management and sustainability. Tuesday, Eating Water campaign with the distribution of water-based foods at strategic locations throughout Grenada. Wednesday and Thursday, virtual engagement on water management and the blue economy. The town of Grenville will then come alive on Friday, October 20th. Official ceremony, grand exhibition, and culture show. World Food Day celebrations 2023, embracing all in the sustainable management of our water resources, celebrating our farmers, vendors, agro-processors, and value chain partners. World Food Day celebrations, October 16th to the 20th, 2023.
From the north, covering south, east, and west. This is Real FM.
They tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent commentary here. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes, yeah. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry, just to get it rowdy. But they wouldn't sue the court papers through. I don't need to close to tell them go, or we pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people, the country taking a beating. So we are repeating, go, they're like a natural disaster. 10 times worse than Ebola, like a dog with fleas and dog on the knees. And I beg you, now we are in one week. From the sides of the country, tripping into rivers, into sea. It's why I'm singing, oh, yeah. This is my humble petition. And every day for election, go. Now, please. Accidental, detrimental, but be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too greedy. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That tap you might stop the pocket, but not corrected by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Because things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Take it sooner than later. So protect the future, please. For the sake of each children and the next generation. To safeguard our image before it cause more damage, like a dog with teeth and dog on the knees. And I'm thinking, they try to stick me, they reach me. They have more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into sea. That's why I'm thinking, this mess is Pabla. Take Munila, let's start my boat. Now, please. Them and them minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. John Public,
everybody, put all the money on the permanent stuff. Put all nurses on the permanent. Put all, everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who's going to support you. Go. Then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the hippie.
Igwe?
Peace. I am Carl Keita, alongside the Igwe. Real expressions for Friday, the 13th October. And the real Black Friday Igwe is to be Friday the 13th. And then the 13th fall on a Friday. They say it's a Black Friday, you know.
Yes.
I don't know if it's about black man or whatsoever, but it's a Black Friday anyways.
Okay.
The Xtention, where any topic of national importance could and will be discussed on this parliament, because Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is my parliament and I'm the spokesman for the parliament for today. And I'm blessed and protected by the Ancient of Days. Isaiah 43:19, behold, I will do new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Sometimes we keep asking God for the same old thing when He wants us to get something new, brand new things. Listeners, I challenge us today, us, to wish for something brand new today. My purpose here, Igwe, is to give the people the facts. I always say what they do with the facts is a matter entirely for them. I always advise them where shame is absent, anything could happen. Like what we see presently in Grenada by this NDC government. I wouldn't stay silent on the issue. So if you think I go stay silent and stopping me is out of context. The intention today is to make those that feel very comfortable, like all of them are there on them boards and contract work, them again them big fat contract and them is to make them uncomfortable. And the lower socioeconomic people to make them comfortable. Bring the nightmares to reality, Igwe. I am not one afraid to give my take on issues, Igwe. So that's me. And at the same time, I would not support things I perceive to be wrong, irrespective of who doing it, Igwe. If somebody consider themselves my friend and they're doing stupidness, I will tell them real stupidness. So when I'm here, it's not about nothing personal, Igwe. Now, Igwe, I ask you to play that clip by Dr. Mitchell. Because the first matter we're going to touch today, they call it functional review. And I will play some clips to show the nation, Igwe, that one, this government is not ready, even after 2 years to govern this country. And two, they are just mischief, misguided, and vindictive. And the third one, to point out the untruth, the lies. And at the time of those lies, the intention was merely to deceive the Grenadian public. So I'll use some of their words, Igwe, to make my point. So at the end of this program, at the end of this segment on functional review, one, you'll find out them and them continue to lie. Two, they don't care about the Grenadian public but only themselves. And three, We call it nepotism because it's about the friends. So we go look up the word nepotism a little later on in the program. I want you to go back and play the first clip you play, and then we go play some other clips and make our points. So, Igwe, the first thing we'll deal with is functional review because in recent times we hear. So let the clips roll.
Say, put everybody, put all the money under permanent. Put all nurses under permanent. Put all everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who's going to support you. Go. Then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the hippie.
No, don't want it. Give me in those. Give me in those.
Get on full dose.
Now, the Prime Minister, as he then was, Dr. Mitchell, gave a warning or an advice to the National Democratic Congress because they were out making all these promises to the Grenadian public. But he was saying, hey, governing a country is not as easy as you guys want it to be, or think it is, or suggesting to the Grenadian public. Because as starting there, Igwe, to get to functional review, because I don't just come in and talk about functional review, so I'm just trying to give you the pipeline. So Dr. Kit Mitchell said that, and they thought it was a joke. Then they were saying, oh, he's an old man and things of the sort. So they didn't listen and play now what they told the Grenadian public.
And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status.
So, my representative, Mr. Cornwall, told the Grenadian public, we go make everybody permanent. There was no need for a parallel public service. So that's what he said. But remember, the advice was you have to learn the ropes. Listen what the Prime Minister presently did.
I'm happy that any loans, if affordable, is made available to citizens of Grenada. Mm-hmm. The issue is not whether that's not the issue. The issue is you've placed a large group of Grenadian workers on contract. Mm-hmm. You've placed them in a position where they are unable to borrow through the normal financial institutions by putting them in a position where they do not have sustainable or sustained employment. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that you've made them vulnerable. You put them in a position where you now have to try and create a special lending scheme for them to borrow. And I'm saying even the special lending scheme that you've created, most of them are not going to qualify for the loan. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to qualify because you've already placed them in a position to disqualify them. Because they would not have acquired land. They would not have life insurance because they're working on 6 months or 12-month contracts. And if they're working, and if the jobs they are doing are permanent jobs, jobs that are normal customer requirements for the government, they should be indefinite employees or permanent employees. They should not be on contract work. And if they're not on contract work, they will be able to take part like the rest of the persons who are on permanent jobs in the normal banking and financial and the credit union systems in Grenada. Right. And that is how you create wealth. Absolutely. That is how you sustain and raise your standard of living. That is how you're able to save money. That is how you acquire a home or acquire a piece of land, or you're able to start a small business on the side. But when you put people on contract work, and when there is no need to do so, then you are putting them in a vulnerable position, and you are doing so deliberately. And so the question you have to ask is, why are you doing so?
Yep.
And in my view, you are doing so because you want to have the ability to fire them at will. So you want to create job insecurity because you want to be able to manipulate them for your own ulterior reasons. Right. So let's make this clear. For those contract workers who are able to qualify for that GDB loan, I'm happy for them. But a significant number of them will not be able to qualify. And the question is, when they don't qualify, what happens to them? They remain on contract work. So what has to be addressed is the fact that the government has to end this contract work, absorb the employees because they are doing jobs that are normal, customary, and required. Let's take, for example, a cook in a school. If you have a school feeding program, that job is required indefinitely. There is no reason to put a cook on a contract work. And remember, when you put her on contract work, she has no pension. She has no chance of getting health insurance. She has no chance of buying life insurance because the incomes are very low. Right. And if you go to buy these things, they will say to you, well, we have no guarantee that you will have a job 6 months from now or 12 months from now. And so no one wants to deal with you from a financial perspective when you're in that position. And I'm saying the job of the citizens, of the government, is to fight for its citizens, to protect its citizens, to encourage its citizens to be independent, not dependent, not vulnerable. So that is the challenge we face. And I'm saying it is solvable by the stroke of a pen. And let me make this further point. It is actually illegal. The Employment Act clearly says that you cannot put someone on a fixed term contract, meaning these short term contracts, when the position they are filling is an indefinite one. So the government itself is breaking the law. The government itself is being lawless. So I'm saying in those circumstances, they should in fact end the contract work, regularize the status of the employees, and any other incentives that should be offered to them to make up for the period that they've been on contract jobs, in fact, should be given to them.
Yes, Igwe.
So that is when he was not Prime Minister Igwe. And just passing, he made the statement that contract work was illegal and then the government was breaking the law. But why he continued to break the law? But that is beside the point. We will get to that one day. So here he says, contract work, illegal. And he ventured Igwe to say that this is solvable. You know? It could be fixed by the stroke of a pen. So give me the next clip. There we hear the Honorable Prime Minister what he said now.
The functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. And it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government, but we really have to await that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
Play that again, because people hear what the Prime Minister is saying now, you know? Because we hear what he and Danny say before. So let me hear him again. You know?
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. And it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government, but we really have to await that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
So,
choking now.
Dr. Mitchell then said, all you say, make everybody permanent. Make everybody permanent. But now, the Prime Minister speaking a different language, Igwe.
You sound like Dr. Mitchell now, eh?
Yeah.
Choked.
Yeah, he sound different now. But to show a little clarity on the whole functional review, Miss Hazard saying something. Let the people hear what she say.
No, we're in office and we cannot do it. Now let's speak about a functional review. Since I've been a public servant, and I've been a public servant for more than 33 years, or at least 33 years, there has been a number of public sector reviews carried out, some in larger scale than others. Up to 2015-16, if my memory serves me correctly, there was a functional review or a review of the public sector that was carried out. And interestingly, when I looked at the press conference, I remembered that at that time, one of the persons who was spearheading that initiative, along with consultants on behalf of the government of Grenada, was also Ms. Hilaire Marshall. And when I participated in that review, it was very, very comprehensive. It included bringing in all of your documentation, your certificates to government, cross-referencing what they had on your personnel file with what you had in your own possession, filling out timesheets so that government could understand what each worker is doing, not just per day or per week, but by hours and by minutes. We had to do that. So that was a detailed review of the public sector that was undertaken then. Up to March of 2022, the DPA, under the leadership of the then permanent secretary, was also reviewing the public sector to find out where all workers were and who all workers were. The last leg of that, to complete that process, was done in March of last year. So the union really is at a loss to understand what is this functional review that is being proposed. Aren't all the data sets there in the possession of the administration of government? Doesn't DPA have that documentation? Because if you're talking about a functional review that's going to take, and you're saying perhaps 8 months to a year, and we know that in all probability, it likely will go on for much longer, then you're kicking the can of regularizing or coming up with a proper solution for persons who are quote unquote unestablished in the service further down the road. And that's not acceptable at all. That does not give the hope sufficiently.
So you go, they're not my words, eh? Thy words from the union. Even them is at a loss as to what they're talking about. Now, I laid the basis for what I'm about to say, Igwe. The intention of the functional review, Igwe, is simply this. You have about 300 of their people in MIT and other ministries what they want to make permanent. So they're using the functional review to create work for the boys and the girls. And then Imani and wardens are they watch out. You hear the words they kind of using? Play what the Prime Minister say again. And we go cipher some words from his speech.
In fact, the functional review recommends that the government is hiring too many people, and I'm assuming we can't sustain it. And it means we need to have that conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead and continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government, but we really have to wait that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
So here's some words using it. So Imanis beware. Wardens and others beware. Too many people in the public service. That the Prime Minister words. Cannot sustain. Because we go today, we go dot some I's and cross some T. Cannot sustain too much people. Fiscal Responsibility Act will be repealed. All that coming, and we talk about bloating. We remember earlier on the Attorney General said the IMF warned them about bloating the public service. But Igwe, Mr. Cornwall, who ought to be in the know, said, we go make everybody permanent. The Prime Minister, who they say is the brightest thing since sliced bread. Some say is Jesus Christ's twin brother, said it is illegal. The government is breaking the law. It's solvable by the stroke of a pen. So you go, when we say the present administration has no shame, shameless, because you told the people this thing is easy to fix. Illegal. The government breaking the law. And the stroke of a pen, will fix it, Igwe. Now you're saying functional review. That too many people in the public service. No, you know. After you say there was no need for a parallel thing, too many people in the public service. You cannot sustain. But you say in the campaign, even though you have to borrow money, you come to solve people and not solve debt. And we will get to the debt thing. But now, you're trying to walk it back now. You're trying to walk it back, Igwe. Igwe, I'm saying something, line it up. Trying to walk it back. And that is the kind of government we have here. So when we say we have a khaki government in Grenada, it's by the most unsuitable people. Yeah, give me.
Start by reiterating the government's commitment to taking on what is undoubtedly a complex and difficult task. It is easy to run away from things that you didn't create. And clearly, we've inherited the situation, and as so ably contextualized by P.S. Marshall, this goes back at the earliest to 2013. As a nation, we entered a structural adjustment program. Significant sacrifices were made by the nation as a whole. Our fiscal situation was in a bad shape, and policy decisions were taken at the time, particularly fiscal ones, that we still live with today. I don't know that the structural adjustment period has ever ended. I knew it started, and I've never heard of an official end. The taxes have largely remained intact, and to a large extent, when it comes to the public service, the varying
So the Prime Minister should know, Igwe, that government is a continuum. Government continues, so to say, we inherit and we do what? Boss, government is a continuum. When you was telling untruth to the people, you didn't realize what you could inherit. When the former Prime Minister was advising you people to go to a training school, you didn't realize them things on them. Now it dawned on him, Igwe, that this thing is difficult. But I tell you, Igwe, functional review, the Imanis and so on, contract workers, should be very, very, very agitated, Igwe. Because that means after they give the 300 people what they want to make permanent work, you go start to hear too many people in the public service. You go start to hear you cannot sustain the public service. You go hear about bloating. And the small matter of pension and loan, pension and gratuity, you don't hear about it these days, Igwe. You understand? But all about, oh, we pay the pension. Yeah, you pay the pension, but now you're talking about too much people. So if you pay the pension, the people and them, what happens to them? But these set of people who are warned, you know, Igwe. And as long as you put yourself up for public office, Mr. Prime Minister, and the ministers of government, I'm a citizen. and I have the right to criticize and to scrutinize your performance and dealings as it relates to the nation's business Igwe. So, my thing about the functional review, Igwe, is one where the contract workers, the same contract workers they promise. Play Dennis again, what I tell the contract workers.
And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office.
Yes. So, which means they're talking about bloating, maybe they might bloat the MIT ministry. So this is a concern, Igwe, for the contract workers whom they deceived by the promises, and now those people are realizing that it was only promises. And Igwe, I always say, Mr. Dennis Matthew Cornwall, you're telling people how are they easing up on you. I can't ease up on you. And Lennox Andrew, I can't ease up on all you for the mere fact that if nobody else knew, you too should have known, Igwe. Based on your past experience in the Ministry of Finance and government, in terms of working as PS and all, you ought to have known. You ought to have known. So when Mr. Cornwall made the pronouncement, Mr. Lennox Andrews would say, Dennis, no man, you can't do that. And when the Prime Minister was talking thing, they should have tell the Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, this thing is not as you're saying. But all you sat there complicit. So now I have to ask all you, because maybe all you might be able to be the voice of reason or the conscience of the Congress. So, yes, Brother Dennis, we good. He's a fella I like, but if I spare the rod and spoil the child, let her walk in here. And you is a man, you just go to church. And I know who the Lord love, he chastens, and to chasten is to be rough, then. Because you two, guys, that two fellas, Igwe, knew what the NDC was telling the population was lies. They knew that. But for some reason, known only to them and why, they keep saying, oh, no need for that. And the Prime Minister was so brazen, Igwe. You see what? That is illegal. The government breaking the law. So, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, why this government, your government, continue to break the law? That is the question. Why you guys continue to break the law? We'll take a break, Igwe, and come back.
When you walk, what you say? When you talk, what you say? When you talk.
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share.
The North covering South, East, and West. This is Real FM.
The National Lotteries Authority is a proud sponsor of many cultural activities within the Tri-Island state of Grenada.
My name is Anderson Matterson, also known as Leftist, and I'm a calypsonian and string band music player from Carrico. I support the games of the National Lottery Authority because culture benefits tremendously. Annually, the NLA supports the Carrico and Pitamatic Carnival, the Carrico String Band Music Festival, and all regattas, among other activities. When I play the game of the NLA, I can see where my money goes, and it's an investment into our culture.
Yes, Grenada, when you play the games of the NLA, you enable us to invest in the skills and talents of our people in the areas of sports, culture, and nation building.
Join us, Grenada, as we continue to promote a legacy of excellence through the Pure Grenada Excellence Champion Training Program. Over 1,000 Grenadians have been trained. Food, transportation service industries, and other frontline workers, you don't want to miss out on this one. Training sessions will resume on mainland Grenada October 9th to 13th and 23rd to 27th, and November 6th to 10th and 20th to the 24th. Learn more at www.puregrenada.com/excellence champion or call GTA head office at 440-2001. Remember, excellence begins with me. Excellence ends with all our we.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, that's classic furniture. They design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it, and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price. And they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Join the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives for the observance of World Food Day celebrations October 16th to 20th, 2023 under the theme Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Monday, October 16th, the minister's address to the nation and panel discussion dissecting the issue of water management and sustainability. Tuesday, Eating Water campaign with the distribution of water-based foods at strategic locations throughout Grenada. Wednesday and Thursday, virtual engagement on water management and the blue economy. The town of Grenville will then come alive on Friday, October 20th. Official ceremony, grand exhibition, and culture show. World Food Day celebrations 2023, embracing all in the sustainable management of our water resources, celebrating our farmers, vendors, agro-processors, and value chain partners. World Food Day celebrations, October 16th to the 20th, 2023.
91.5 Real FM got you covered.
You tell me candid, it's too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent commentary here. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, here's the air. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry, just to get it rowdy. But they wouldn't sue the court papers through. I don't need more close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people, because you're taking a beating. So maybe I repeat it, go. They're like a natural disaster. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and down on their knees. And I beg it through Yahweh and I did one week. From the side to the country, trickling into rivers and into sea. It's why I sing it through Yahweh. This is my humble petition. And every day for election, go. Now, please. The dental, detrimental, but believe Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too greedy. Honeymoon and before the romance. Expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That tap you might stop the pocket, but not corrected by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Because it's all apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Take it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of each children and the next generation. To safeguard our image. Before it cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas and down on the knees.
Welcome, Mr. Pierre. What's up?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always good to join the program on the extension this morning. Been following you up a little bit while.
What happened this
while
morning?
on the road.
I start up with the functional review because my fear is the government is putting its machinery, as you always say, they plan, they just sit down and plan. So they putting a plan in place to attack the Imanis and the contract workers. So they're using a big word, Mr. Payne. A big word, functional review. Now, the last Prime Minister, Dr. Mitchell, and I'm going to play a clip with him so you can understand where I'm coming from, warned this present administration of the utterances which had been loose. So play the clip by Dr. Mitchell and me and Mr. Pierre go talk about it.
Say, put everybody, put all the money under permanence. Put all nurses under permanence. Put all, everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who's going to support you. Go, then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the Jefe.
So that was Dr. Keith Mitchell's advice to the National Democratic Congress. But they didn't heed the advice, Mr. Pierre. Because, and we agree on that, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Dennis Matthew Cornwall and Mr. Lennox Andrew bears full responsibility for what is taking place in Grenada now. Because these two guys, Mr. Pierre, ought to have known. So when people meet me and say, Dennis, say, I don't ease up on him, I can't ease up on Dennis because he ought to have known, along with Mr. Lennox Andrew, that what the Prime Minister was telling people was not true and was impossible. So play what Mr. Cornwall told the public.
And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status.
And at the time Mr. Cornwall was saying that, Mr. Pierre, he knew that was a lie.
Well, he ought to have known, he should know. He was a public officer long enough. He had the kind of academic acumen that he could have easily hold any post based upon qualification in the government, from Minister of Finance, Cabinet Sec. And I would not have hesitated to encourage him to campaign to be a governor of the ECCB. And Grenada have a track record from 1983 with structural adjustment program. And they would have been involved in structural adjustment program. We had this structural adjustment program that contributed to the first NNP dismantling, where workers was retrenched. And we had some bad legal advice there to Mr. Blaze. I think it was Derek Knights that took the case in a class action, and people 22 and 23 years went on pension. Then we had the structural adjustment program under the NDC. At that time, George Brizan led it. And we had serious issue with George Brizan and the NDC then, because they put their focus on attacking people in the lower socio-economic strata. They believed that the problem with the economy was poor people. We took a lot of issue with them, begging them not to interfere with social programs. So they balanced the book. The NDC balanced the book. I think that was the time they introduced the debt service level. They balanced the book, but eventually, although they balanced the book, but eventually they created a lot of social discord in the country. And then we had the structural adjustment program. After the NDC, the economy was in free fall. When they were selling property as if it's a joke. When they were selling lands that did not belong to them. That was the 2008-2013 period. And then we had a structural adjustment program led by Kit Mitchell. The International Monetary Fund just came from Greece. And the people from Greece was balling. And they came to Grenada. And Grenada, because of the experience they had in the past, and I have great respect for the individuals in the Ministry of Finance, because some of the professionals there, they joined with the government in negotiating tough with the International Monetary Fund. Grenadians must never forget that. We must never forget that. Not only Kit Mitchell and Gregory Boyne, the professionals in the Ministry of Finance was as good as they were, arguing, wrangling that we must not have anybody losing their job. So we had a structural adjustment program. No one lost their job. Salaries was not cut. And government increased social spending.
Even in the midst of the pandemic.
3,000 Imanis were employed. And this was a masterpiece. Barbados Trade Union begged the government then, try kit policy in Grenada. They ignored it, and that's why me and Motley get all this. So now every member of the NDC have to be dumb twice, because they were aware of the history of the structural adjustment program, where the small, because government is the main employer in Grenada, the public service is always overloaded.
Yep.
Because people have to find jobs. And government, all governments, end up overloading the public service. And that is why the system of contracts and etc. come out, put them on contract. But even individuals was on contract. The financial institutions was aware why they were on contract. And that's why I said this government committed sacrilege. They broke the financial, they practically interfere with the financial confidence between temporary permanent workers and the financial institution. I call it a covenant. I call it a covenant, the financial covenant. And I'll give you an example. If a worker was working with Kenny Larson, I like Kenny Larson name. He's one of the most successful businessmen in St. Patrick's. And his aggressiveness to reach out, and he's a moderate individual that in my discussion with him, he do not have a bitter heart. So I like to jump up on him. If a worker was working with Kenny Larson and spent 5-6 years and applied to a bank for a loan, and after Kenny Larson would have given a letter stating, yes, the worker is working with me, blah, 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 the bank would have been comfortable that because Kenny is a relatively successful businessman, he's not going away. And if he spoke about that worker, that is enough for the bank to believe that worker will be there permanently. The government destroyed that in Grenada. These are not tangible things you see. Sometimes when you're listening to the destruction of NDC, people look only for tangible things. But the intangible things is practically worse. And as you say, both Comrade Cornwall and Comrade Lennox Andrew, all the others, but they qualify to have leadership quality. And Deacon Mitchell, who was sold to Grenada, to Grenadian politics as a man with deep pockets and contact, they would have known that he had very little knowledge about these things. So yes, on their shoulder must be the burden of the people that staring defeat now, the people who are likely to lose their job, the people who lose confidence. Comrade Dennis Cornwall and my brother, Lennox.
So, give me the clip, give me the other clip where the Prime Minister talk about shook up happened, because I just want, you see, I'm playing those clips for people to understand what was said and the reality of the situation now.
I'm happy that any loans, if affordable, is made available to citizens of Grenada. The issue is not whether that's not the issue. The issue is you've placed a large group of Grenadian workers on contract. You place them in a position where they are unable to borrow through the normal financial institutions by putting them in a position where they do not have sustainable or sustained employment. And what that means is that you've made them vulnerable. You put them in a position where you now have to try and create a special lending scheme for them to borrow. And I'm saying even the special lending scheme that you've created, most of them are not going to qualify for the loan. And they're not going to qualify because you've already placed them in a position to disqualify them. Because they would not have acquired land. They would not have life insurance because they're working on 6 months or 12-month contracts. And if they're working, and if the jobs they are doing are permanent jobs, jobs that are normal customer requirements for the government, they should be indefinite employees or permanent employees. They should not be on contract work. And if they're not on contract work, they will be able to take part, like the rest of the persons who are on permanent jobs, in the normal banking and financial and the credit union systems in Grenada. Right. And that is how you create wealth. Absolutely. That is how you sustain and raise your standard of living. That is how you're able to save money. That is how you acquire a home or acquire a piece of land, or you're able to start a small business on the side. But when you put people on contract work, and when there is no need to do so, then you are putting them in a vulnerable position, and you are doing so deliberately. And so the question you have to ask is, why are you doing so? And in my view, you are doing so because you want to have the ability to fire them at will. So you want to create job insecurity because you want to be able to manipulate them for your own ulterior reasons. Right. So let's make this clear. For those contract workers who are able to qualify for that GDP loan, I'm happy for them. But a significant number of them will not be able to qualify. And the question is, when they don't qualify, what happens to them? They remain on contract work. So what has to be addressed is the fact that the government has to end this contract work, absorb the employees because they are doing jobs that are normal, customary, and required. Let's take, for example, a cook in a school. If you have a school feeding program, that job is required indefinitely. There is no reason to put a cook on a contract work. And remember, when you put her on contract work, she has no pension. She has no chance of getting health insurance. She has no chance of buying life insurance because the incomes are very low. Right. And if you go to buy these things, they will say to you, well, we have no guarantee that you will have a job 6 months from now or 12 months from now. And so no one wants to deal with you from a financial perspective when you're in that position. And I'm saying the job of the citizens, of the government, is to fight for its citizens, to protect its citizens, to encourage its citizens to be independent, not dependent, not vulnerable. So that is the challenge we face. And I'm saying it is solvable by the stroke of a pen. And let me make this further point. It is actually illegal. The Employment Act clearly says that you cannot put someone on a fixed term contract, meaning the short term contracts, when the position they are filling is an indefinite one. So the government itself is breaking the law. The government itself is being lawless. So I'm saying in those circumstances, they should in fact end the contract work, regularize the status of the employees, and any other incentives that should be offered to them to make up for the period that they've been on contract jobs, in fact, should be given to them.
So, Mr. Pierre, Mr. Dennis Matthew Connell and Lennox Andrew, after hearing the utterances of Deacon Mitchell, should I go to him and say, boss, no. Because at best, the statement put this government under tremendous pressure, Mr. Pierre. Because if the Prime Minister now knew that it was illegal, he said the government was breaking the law. That his words, So the government is breaking the law now. And then he added to say it was solvable, Mr. Pierre, by the stroke of a pen. So where is that pen presently, Mr. Pierre? And then one should ask, why is he continue to break the law? And why is he doing that to the people you call the people in the lower socioeconomic bracket, Mr. Pierre? And why is this government not fighting for its citizens, but it appears to be fighting against its citizens? Mr. Pierre, what's your take on that?
Well, I always see that I pray the day when more public officers express their views and opinion on national issues in Grenada and issues that perhaps transcend political parties. Because there's a lot of public officers that have walked the straight and narrow, or they have tried to walk the straight and narrow, and they are living frugal lives, and they retire so they could speak out on any issues without worrying about any political neophytes. Mr. Forrester there, in my opinion, committed a crime. Mr. Forrester, of all persons, was public relation officer of the NNP and knew that. Persuader was involved in agriculture and he knew. Mr. Tillman Thomas and a number of other Grenadians. And sometimes I always see a kind of softened politician. But there are too many people in the public that could tell the politician they're wrong. The trade union leaders, particularly the president of TUC, should have asked the head of NDC if they know what they're doing. He should have asked them, what you saying there, do you know what you're doing? I'm not saying he had to do it, but it seems in the public that the perception was that the trade union is more inclined to the NDC. They gravitate to the NDC. The trade union have a history, are more sympathetic to the NDC. So if that is so, guide those who you love. guide those who you love. And they're well aware that the NDC always have this hostile policy to people in the lower income group, and know that they made these promises. The trade union leaders should have nudged them. You're putting yourself in hot water. You're likely to destroy your own self with the statements you're making. And they did nothing. So you see, I always skeptical or worried about this prime minister. I always ask, who sent him?
Somebody sent him.
I don't trust that he come with any genuine intention, because he was sold as a man with deep pockets and contacts. So there are a number of people in our society should have concern when they see these promises have been made.
So give me the next one, even when you're talking about functional review. You're sleeping on
conversation, because we will then have to find a way to ensure that you do not go ahead continue increasing the size of the workforce beyond something that is sustainable. But I think we would first need to get the functional review, and particularly because you have these several modes of engagement right now, get a sense of where the bloating is. If the functional review comes back and says that we have a workforce that is larger than the needs of the government, but we really have to wait that to be able to have a definitive answer to.
What is a functional review? Now, sometimes I always warn people, when you hear you walking around with a briefcase or certificate in your head, and you believe you have a good vocabulary, and you could just say some things, because you have review, and then you say you have a functional review. Well, I can't handle you with words. And you swallow the grammar book. So I prefer to go in the dictionary. The primary purpose of functional review is to assess the service we need to provide to ensure excellent administrative and business support. The public service always have review. And I think Daisy had said that there was a complete review recently. So you just come in office 1 month. You make one among the outrageous, blatant, planned lies. And now, maybe to buy time, or to kick the bucket further down the road, or to bamboozle, you say you're having a functional review. Whether you review, whether you have a functional review, the people on contract expect it to be permanent. Because you said there is no need for a parallel public service. You said it is illegal. You accuse the government of using these things maliciously. These are serious claims. You accuse the previous government by being malicious because they employ all these people and they are making them permanent. So they're malicious. Whereas the government claimed, because of the economic situation, because of COVID-19, because of the downturn in the hotel industry, St. George's University, we must come in, government have to intervene and provide relief and try to make jobs for people. Because Grenada have a small private sector, a more family private sector. They're not very aggressive in expanding. So government is the biggest employer of the day. What you have done is to accuse the government of being malicious in employing people.
But here, Mr. Pell, Daisy, Ms. Hazard put it in its right perspective. Let me get it.
We're in office and we cannot do it. Now let's speak about a functional review. Since I've been a public servant, and I've been a public servant for more than 33 years, or at least 33 years, there has been a number of public sector reviews carried out, some in larger scale than others. Up to 2015-16, if my memory serves me correctly, there was a functional review or a review of the public sector that was carried out. And interestingly, when I looked at the press conference, I remembered that at that time, one of the persons who was spearheading that initiative, along with consultants on behalf of the government of Grenada, was also Ms. Hilaire Marshall. And when I participated in that review, it was very, very comprehensive. It included bringing in all of your documentation, your certificates to government, cross-referencing what they had on your personnel file with what you had in your own possession, filling out timesheets so that government could understand what each worker is doing, not just per day or per week, but by hours and by minutes. We had to do that. So that was a detailed review of the public sector that was undertaken then. Up to March of 2022, the DPA, under the leadership of the then permanent secretary, was also reviewing the public sector to find out where all workers were and who all workers were. The last leg of that, to complete that process, was done in March of last year. So the union really is at a loss to understand what is this functional review that is being proposed. Aren't all the data sets there in the possession of the administration of government? Doesn't DPA have that documentation? Because if you're talking about a functional review that's going to take, and you're saying perhaps 8 months to a year, and we know that in all probability, it likely will go on for much longer, then you're kicking the can of regularizing or coming up with a proper solution for persons who are quote unquote unestablished in the service further down the road. And that's not acceptable at all. That does not give the hope sufficiently.
So you understand how good I'm saying? So that is why my whole fear about the functional review is that the Imanis and the contract workers, they go start to because you hear he start using words like bloat, cannot sustain. So that is not good news for the same contract workers whom he promised could fix by the stroke of a pen. The same contract workers who Mr. Carnwell say what as soon as we got nothing. So that is the kind of government we have presently, Mr. P.
You have to always say to people to do a little research on the National Democratic Congress. This time they're trying to use different words. When they came in 2008, they got rid of the money. They got rid of them. Unemployment rose. Road condition deteriorated. They were selling government assets. The economy was in free fall. I don't expect better this time. I expect worse. They have already gotten rid of over 300 workers. They fired 30 workers from Grand Bay State for what? And NDC like to talk about agriculture emotion. And it's the worst political party where agriculture is concerned. You know. If you ask them what is a success story in agriculture, they don't know. Look at the source of industry. 1 year and months. And they refuse to have a meeting with the source of exporters.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they sabotaging the industry. Because this cotton scale insect is spreading. And when they close down the pest management unit for several months, and they bring it back now with about quarter the size of the pus cells that was there. And they're stretching them in. And the disease is spreading. Where is the mango they say they go export?
Yeah, boy. One of them called me and said, oh, Master, call mangoes.
Remember they said they go suspend VAT for 1 year?
Yes.
I mean, people just have to sit down. They raise the price of sugar and they say they're planting white potato.
Yeah. They take out what on corn now.
This is a diabetic joke, you know.
Yeah.
This is a diabetic joke. You cut down on sugar because you say you want to control diabetes, but you're increasing, you're trying to plant white potato. I mean, this thing is so.
It's like some of them Rasta man used to say, Babylon fighting down weed and promote cocaine is that kind of same thing.
Well, I mean, you don't understand some of the things they say. It makes no sense. It's just like a joke, and you could see that they really don't know what they're about, but they want to use fine language and just making statements. Because if you're serious about health issues, particularly targeting diabetes, and you decide to cut down on sugar, raise the price of sugar, and you want to increase the production of white potato, that doesn't make much sense.
But that you see, there's no plan except to plan lies. They're not planning. Planning lies is a strong suit. But in other words, as you always say, to defend a lie or to continue to lie.
Yeah.
So the whole thing now comes down functional review, where it is believed by chatters on the street that there are 300 of their friends. They go try to make them permanent. And the rest, they go tell them, they go make excuse like too many people bloating at the public service. It's not sustainable. Like the answers they go give to the rest. And you see.
And somebody might ask, how was it sustainable in the previous government time?
Yes.
Because you met the treasury pregnant, and they were employing a significant amount of people, and you had a significant amount of people doing part-time debushing work. And all creek and corner, they were fighting to employ more people. So how was it sustainable then? And within 1 year, under 2 years you're in office, and it's not sustainable now. People come to ask you that. I always say to some of my comrades who are well intelligent, well certificated, I always say to them, Eric Gary built 28 schools in 13.5 years. So a lot of people in Grenada have not had the opportunity to get tertiary or secondary education, but don't believe you could fool them.
Nah. Well, my grandmother used to always tell me, "Pay sense me before booking."
Some of the best grammatists I've met left primary school. They correct your grammar, and sometimes you say, I did the rum chop drinking rum. You want to correct my grammar? They're grammatists, and they never been to a secondary school. And I think one of the mistakes that the National Democratic Congress always make, they believe because they are well certificated, other people in the island could be easily tricked.
Now, I had that discussion recently, Mr. P, what you alluding to. And, well, the discussion started with a statement from you that they're walking around with a briefcase of certificate. And an elderly gentleman listened to the conversation for a while. And as you see, then he bought in. He said, Master Carl, listen to me. Them men and them, they're brighter than nobody. They just get the opportunities others didn't get. You know, and it took me a while to really get what he was saying. So he said, Master Carl, let me tell you something. And he called a few persons' name, I won't mention it. He said, had those persons given the opportunities these people get, he had no doubt. So he said, he Tom, the Congress people, the brighter set, he Tom them those people who get opportunity others didn't get. And it's the same thing you're saying?
Yeah.
So they walk around with an air about themselves.
Yeah.
And they want to correct everything, but things of substance like issues. No. Anytime you corner them with an issue, you know what they're telling you? NNP used to do it. That's some of them defense, or are talking politics.
And we have too much Grenadians that are walking around and playing the neutral. This is not politics. I don't talking. Stop this nonsense. 110,000 people, two main political parties. You end up in conversation. We expect your opinion on certain issues, particularly if you claim you is a success story. You know, nonsense about you don't involve in politics. Trade union is about politics.
Politics.
Journalists is about politics. Radio personalities. Even comedians. Hixing on you.
And you have to take a side, Mr. Pierre, because if you don't take a side, you'll get bongs down.
That's why I encourage them to come in the rum shop. You just buy them up, particularly if they ain't spending money already.
We'll take a break and then go into the news, Mr. Pierre. And be back.
Yes.
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Sheep clothing, both of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Where you go, when you're walking, what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful. We have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you have to move with care in that jungle out there. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. When you're moving, which direction you're going, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update as produced by Triple N. The details when I return.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Welcome back locally. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell will not be attending the upcoming Canada CARICOM Summit. Grenada will be represented by a delegation comprising Roxy McLeish Hutchinson, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Jerry Hopkins, Grenada Consul General in Ottawa, and headed by Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Joseph Andel. The first Canada CARICOM Summit on Canadian soil will be held from October 17th to the 19th, 2023, and will be chaired by Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and co-chaired by the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, current chair of CARICOM. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister on Witness Protection Program.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has refuted claims made by the opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar when she made her budget response to Finance Minister Colm Imbert. According to Dr. Rowley, Ms. Persad-Bissessar was trying to mislead the public by stating that the killings of a 13-year-old girl and her uncle in Rio Claro was due to the lack of a witness protection program. In his budget presentation, the Prime Minister pointed out that the opposition leader's claims were illogical for more than one reason. He noted that the crime was never reported and therefore the child could not have joined the program.
The child went to report
an incident of crime, almost immediately the criminals kill the child and the family members that were damaged. What is the opposition leader saying in a criticism of the government? That we should have a program where you go into the witness protection program before you report the crime?
The Prime Minister also noted that the opposition leader is fully aware that the country is engaged in an international program called the Justice Protection Program.
In 2020 and 2023, in our program here in Trinidad and Tobago, we are engaged in managing 401 persons in that program, of which 145 are actual witnesses and 256 are members of the witnesses' families.
Dr. Rowley said between 2020 and 2023, 401 people were managed in the program, 145 of whom are actual witnesses and 226 members of the witnesses' families. He added that between 2019 and 2022, the government had allocated $120 million towards the Justice Protection Program.
Around the globe, activists protest on sidelines of IMF and World Bank annual meeting. Around the globe, activists protest on sidelines of IMF and World Bank annual meeting.
Gathered on the sidelines of the annual meeting of the IMF and World Bank in Marrakesh to protest against the two institutions, whose policies they say are responsible for deepening the economic inequality they are meant to address.
We are here to be in solidarity with other peoples in the world here in Marrakesh. First, to protest what the IMF and the World Bank has done to people all over the world that has added to our impoverishment and exploitation, the pushing of neoliberal policies. We're also here to present our demands, not just to the IMF and the World Bank, but to all the governments of the wealthy countries. First, they must pay reparations for the historical wrongs they have done to the people of the South, and we are calling for system change and not climate change.
At a People's Alternative Global Tribunal organized in the Moroccan city, activists testified about how the policies of the two financial institutions impacted their countries and contribute to the impoverishment and exploitation of people around the world.
And in sports, every Scottish soul in the place knew what was coming. The two giant screens inside Sevilla's Estadio de la Cartuga, a pair of Roja Harbingas of doom, clashed up VAR check in progress. This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. I am your presenter Maxine Entwine, thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour. From the north, covering south, east, and west. This is Real FM.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed. M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George, shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
If you're looking to improve or maintain your health, look no further. We have a general practitioner right here on Main Street Sates in the Kweze. Dr. Guerra, a gynecologist and surgeon who specializes in women's health. She offers lab tests, blood, pap smears, prostate cancer, and stool tests. We now have a portable EKG machine that gives you accurate readings by using just 2 fingers. And that's not all. If you're suffering from any respiratory conditions such as asthma, bronchitis, COPD, or seasonal allergies, we have a nebulizer machine that can safely treat these. Consultation for pregnant women from beginning to end. Surgeries, which includes hysterectomy, tying of tubes, vaginal shrinking, removal of uterine fibroids, vaginal warts, hernias, and C-sections. She also specializes in diagnostic and therapeutic DNC, abnormal bleeding. Eye testing is also available at the clinic by appointment only with Dr. Mabel Veritas Lugo. They are in collaboration with Alice Labs, located in St. George, opposite the Excel Plaza. Walk-ins are accepted. You can also call for an appointment at 423-3352 or our landline at 444-4272. That number's again 423-3352 or 444-4272. Put your health first.
Grenada, get ready. A new season of the Grenleg Debates is coming. Informative, impromptu, bright young minds sparking powerful ideas. The Grenleg Debates will be broadcasted on MTV Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m., Saturdays at 6 p.m., and on GBN TV Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., Sundays at 4 p.m. Broadcast begins Saturday, October 7th. Tune in.
St. Patrick's Pharmacy. St. Patrick's Pharmacy. Looking for a wide variety of prescription drugs and over-the-counter medication? Check out St. Patrick's Pharmacy. Feeling weak and want a boost? Check out St. Patrick's Pharmacy for all your vitamin and mineral supplements. Essential oils such as lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus, and much more. Medicated soaps, antifungal and antibacterial, all at affordable prices. Visit St. Patrick's Pharmacy today at its new location. Yes, a new location on Clip Street, apartment number 4 at the Ford Building. We are open Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call us today on 414-1954 or 442-0204. St. Patrick's Pharmacy, where quality medication costs less.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent. Perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines. Yet suitable for your hand wash. Soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness. Keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents Soft Flower, Ocean Breeze, and the new Aloe Vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Grenlec extends a warm invitation to all community groups, nonprofits, and other eligible organizations in Grenada. Join us for an expert-led workshop series designed to help you unlock your project's potential while mastering persuasive proposal writing and fostering innovation. Choose your date. Workshops will be held on October 17th in St. Andrew and October 20th in St. George. Don't miss out. Register your interest today by calling 449-3630.
91.5 Real FM got you covered.
They tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. One-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes again. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up Mova, they unleash their lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So maybe I repeat it. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and down on their knees. And I'm begging, go now. We and I did one week. Prophesy to the country. Streets turn into rivers, then into seas. That's why I say it. This is my humble petition. Another date for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, day too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. Corruption, but now it's on check.
Global pandemic continues to adversely affect global supply chains and increase the cost of food and fuel and worsen an already high cost of living. In light of all of the above, no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves.
Yes, Igwe. Yes, I think it's important that we do, as a public service, we read this letter from the Public Service Commission to public officers' engagement in trade and commercial activities within the ministries and department. It has come to the attention of the Public Service Commission, PSC, that officers are engaged in the practice of trade and commercial activities, including the sale of goods, snacks, and other similar practice within the premises of the ministries and department. And the Commission has determined that these activities constitute a breach of the PSC regulation. The PSC has directed the public service, the permanent secretaries, heads of department to bring to the attention of public officers that the Public Service Staff Orders PSC Regulation SR and O2769 strictly prohibits the active engagement of public officers in trade and commercial activities without the Commission approval. Most specifically, Order number 26 of the Public Service Staff Orders states that public officers, whether on leave of absence or not, are forbidden to undertake any private work for payment and to engage in trade or employment themselves in any commercial or agricultural undertaking without the consent of the appropriate service commission. Also, regulation number 56 of the PSC regulation SRO 2769 states, except in the case of part-time officers, an officer's whole time is at the disposal of the government accordingly. I think it is important that public officers understand that these laws are there a longer time, but government has not bothered with it. In fact, one would say some government have practically encouraged officers. Now this government seems to be walking back. And public officers, you are not to get involved in commercial activities, even agricultural activities. You are not to get involved in it as a public officer.
The part what gets me, Mr. P, more specifically, order number 26 of the Public Service Staff Order states that public officers, whether on leave of absence or not, is forbidden. So if it's a public worker, you cannot shop and thing.
No, you're not supposed to have commercial activity. You're not supposed to have shop. You're not supposed to have a fishing boat. You're not supposed to carry out agricultural activities. I don't know what they're going to do with those that are Calypsonians. And entertainers and comedians and poets and authors and those who doing part-time work in computer. I don't know what they're going to do with them.
And those who they giving contract to do work.
And those public officers, the government giving contract to do work. I don't know if it is targeting a particular group of officers that they want to carry out restorative justice on.
Chatters on the streets, they targeting some people in the Ministry of Finance. What is more important, Mr. P? More specifically, because Public Service Commission, like they wake up from the slumber now. Whether on leave or not, Mr. P.
Yeah, whether on leave or not.
But play what the Prime Minister said, because I want people to understand the whole context of the thing, you know.
Last one?
Yeah.
Continues to adversely affect global supply chains and increase the cost of food and fuel, and worsen an already high cost of living. In light of all of the above, no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves.
So the people are them trying to save themselves and they cut it out, they cut them in the knees, you know, Mr. P. But the point I am making here, you see the word cushion? The NNP brought the 150, Mr. P, to cushion cost of living. These people are doing this thing and them now to cushion cost of living, and you realize this government cut it, but they turn around and give their friends tax break.
Yeah.
You understand how the thing is? And they giving the big friends big contract. So a question I would ask Mr. P, we heard them tormenting people before when they was in opposition as needy and greedy. But now the question begs, Mr. P, will the real greedy and needy stand up? Because we hearing in recent times about the contracts for the boys and the girls. We hearing about this recent thing to make 300 of the people permanent, Mr. P. So will the real needy and greedy stand up, Mr. Pierre?
You have a call on the line?
Yes, take it.
Yes, take the call.
We lost it.
Okay.
Callers, you could call in.
Yeah, go in, please do.
Because their people get money from the CES program. The 30,000.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre and the others, good morning.
Who you calling the orders, Clifford?
Your respect getting low.
Sorry for that.
Your respect getting low this morning.
Respect getting like a Ghanaian dollar.
Okay, I apologize.
That just was a jest. Don't take that seriously.
The last piece of thing that you read there have me confused.
Why?
Because I was about to say something and then I had to go back and think first before I say it. About the orders of work and whatnot. Since Adam was a little boy, this laws on them there. You understand? No Adam about coming back. No, I mean, come on. What you? Mostly every government employee have a private business. Mostly every government employee have a
Mostly is a strong word. A lot of government employees.
Well, a lot.
But it mostly mean the majority.
There's teachers with buses.
So let's say a lot.
A lot.
Boats,
A lot.
many
A
other
lot.
businesses.
More than one. A lot. And to try to review these rules now, when we heard and saw that people are underpaid, permanent secretaries are underpaid, ministers are underpaid, chief of staff was underpaid and whatnot. I wonder where we're going with that.
Even agriculture, you know?
Yeah.
So fellas had to put back thing on their wife name and their girlfriend name and
I remember when you talk about wife name, you know the gentleman go, a man called Mr. Arthur Branch.
Yeah.
Was a government officer for years. Worked with the Banner Association, worked with everything. And you know he was manager of Windsor Estate at once.
Yeah.
And you know what used to be at the Windsor Estate? Lottie Branch.
Lottie Branch, eh? A lot of over the years, a lot of agriculture officers.
Yeah.
We sometimes you laugh. They say the wife shipping banana. The wife doesn't know where the brand is.
So this damn fool are really working with it. But something that I'm wondering, the Prime Minister made a set of statements that you all played there recently. I'm wondering whether the Prime Minister knew directly what he was saying or he just was reading from some document. Because it appears to me that the Prime Minister, when he makes those statements about bloating the ministries and so on and all the things that he talked about and making people permanent and whatnot, I wonder if the Prime Minister didn't know that before he started campaign or before he went into campaign, or if he learned that after. I'm wondering if from what point did the Prime Minister get to understand these things? Because it sounds, when you play those tapes, it sounds like if a man, who doesn't know what he's saying, these are factors that, people have to examine. But as you say, there could be a lot of persons that you're looking for. 300, jobs for 300.
But he's trying to get rid of some NNP supporters.
Exactly.
So they will be targeted. You see the teachers union president encourage them to knock out the head of them NNP.
There is something called Vote 340.
Yeah.
And I think mostly every public worker are aware of that. And this thing about bloating public service, name me one country, including England, where
that do have a bloated public service.
Yeah, name me one. It is a normal thing that government and the established list cannot employ everybody to pay them in the year and the month and the service thing. So you have some people get a contract. They are being paid by the contract. So you're getting $500, you think. The NDC is aware of it. Good and gold, Let's take one or two persons. Let's take Mr. The Attorney General that was fired. Wasn't he contracted? Mr. Bristol was not contracted.
Well, yeah, but not under this.
But he was under NDC.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the policy was there from ever since. No new policies.
Yeah, it's just a renewed set of line.
So, a fella meet me day before, a very strong supporter of NDC, and we are very good friends, and he told me, boy, are you laughing now? Well, we have it now, and we say, you see, but the thing with NDC will win the election, but they don't have strategy to remain in power for long, so we don't expect them to remain long. You see, yes, but I'm glad for the back pay that was paid, but I don't think NDC is going to stay in power for long. And he admit by saying that some of these things they're doing is a lot of stupidness they start to do already.
Yeah,
and he named some of the stupidness, even with the present housing scheme. You see, that is debarring the small man from actually owning something.
Well, that is one of NDC intention.
So people are seeing, but I too support that NDC, I expect them to make the 5 years. They ain't going before the 5 years. But I don't know what will happen after the 5 years. But I expect them to make the 5 years. I don't think they're going before the 5 years. So and that, I don't believe that. They're going to do everything. But to me, the ministers, I don't know what will happen when they're going cabinet, but to me, something wrong. Because them fellas and them, they don't know who to bowl, they don't know how to bat, they don't know how to go behind the wicket. Like all man playing this is the same way. When they have the ball, everybody wants the ball. Something has to be wrong there. How you could be leaving the island and you don't show who is your deputy?
Well, the deputy left before him. The deputy left the Wednesday, and I think...
so the captain sat in the field and he has seen where the field has it?
I think that is an honest mistake. They're traveling so much, they forget who out and who in.
But the captain supposed... Before the captain give right away, when the captain heave the ball for you, the captain supposed to make sure that he have 11 players and
the captain just heave up the ball here in the back, who catch. The captain only playing every minute.
It's a very sad thing.
Yeah, yeah, my brother. Thank you. It's sad and unfortunate, and it's practically insulting, because over the years, government have always tried to do better. In all fairness,
yes,
governments have tried to do better, and I think this group are just reversing, walking back in every sense of the word.
Because I expected them to make some missteps and so on, but not as how it happening. And they're not repentant, Mr. P. It's like, if you point it out to them, it's like nothing. According to the corruption thing, die nothing.
Well, Bernard Code says lack of institutional knowledge,
arrogance and youthful.
And arrogance. And they have a sort of bitterness with them, because they're under the guide of the Prince of Hate. So I think that is why they introduce restorative justice, which is, in its practicality on the ground, is just political vengeance.
But you see, so that letter in itself tells a story, about the mindset, Mr. P. So it starts to, about, if you have to deal with, say, let me say, you find that happening in the Ministry of Finance, as you say, the Treasury, as people will say, and you find people selling snacks and things, and you don't want them to sell, treat with it.
But
the fact that you say, whether on leave of absence or not, that don't mean they don't have to come in the building to do that.
No, they don't have to be in the ministry at all. And you think agriculture, so they might find some members of government doing farming, or they might have a taxi, they have a bus. So now you will find officers again scrambling to change the name.
Yeah.
Put it on the sister name, says not me, the wife name, the cousin name. All these things just kill productivity.
Definitely.
The government has placed no emphasis on productivity in the system. They have just created mischief. Mischief. You're firing people, you're transferring people. When government service, the MIT is really the Ministry for Political Mischief.
Yep, it is.
And one of them was encouraging to attend, to spy on NNP activities, to see who are the public officers that are attending this activity.
Yes.
And is geared towards political mischief. And it is at all levels, I'm practically appalled that people, caregivers, in money, what political impact these individuals have that they go after them with such viciousness.
You could encourage the persons, they could start calling in.
Yes, we could take your calls as soon as the
lines are open.
Yeah, and that's what is sad about it, and this is my biggest concern. Because when you find the government continue to do that, you create a lot of anger, a lot of fraction, animosity on the ground, where people are losing jobs on the ground, and they practically don't know for what. I heard a little story about an individual on a contract. They told him that he's going to get a job, a security job. And they told him what to get. I think it was, you have to have his insurance paper, his bank account number, police record. I think that was it. And it appears that he had some of it already. So he presented it and they told him he would start to work the Monday. And 2 days after that, they sent him a WhatsApp and say, well, we have too much people.
Mm-hmm.
We have to leave you out.
Mm-hmm.
But he was told by another one that they found out his mother was an NNP. So the little one was really angry. He was kicking up smoke. I had a discussion with him and, just try to cool him down. Say, you're better than that. Go and fish in the river. Get a hook. Don't get angry. Go and fish in the river. Say, you know how to fish? You tell me yes. Well, take a line. Go and fish. 25 pounds for crayfish. So if you could hold a pound, $25. Go and fish. He was very disappointed and very angry. And he's saying things. He's daring them and challenging them. And that is what's sad. A little one sign up for a contract for work in security.
Mm.
And they say his mother is NNP.
So they punish him on that premise.
They did some investigation. So it's pretty sad and unfortunate, but I think it's necessary to speak about these things. Hoping.
I'll give you a story. Before the recent police promotions, somebody who I know and just converse with, they say one person high up within the security apparatus of this country met them and had a discussion about a particular young police officer. And in the discussion, the person high up in the political apparatus, in the security apparatus of this country, asked the gentleman, "But you think that man does support?" The man say, without thinking, you see, why the man am green man. So you see, when the promotion came and the person didn't get, he realized he caused the man not to get him.
Yeah, he see the man green.
Because he see the man and them greening. And when you hear stories like that, you have to realize something is not right, Mr. P. Something is definitely not right. And what behooves me, Mr. P, most of the persons who are doing those things are the persons who you see clinging on to the Bible harder than me and you. I don't know how they could, I don't know. Well, it's a matter entirely for them. Salvation is something personal.
See the practicalization.
I don't get this thing, because you can't hang in onto the Bible and doing them kind of thing, and something ought to be fundamentally wrong.
Well, the politics and the religion, sometimes they pray and the God tell them, look at Israel and the Palestine. The Palestine say the Muslim Allah.
Yeah, Allah.
Allah and Muhammad tell them kill the Jews. And they have war, you know, and the Israelis say God guiding them. So both sides have their God and they're fighting the war.
But you know,
that
situation, Mr. Pierre, is one for serious concern.
It warrants some discussion.
Now the strip, the Gaza Strip, is 144 square miles. They are just a little bigger than Grenada. But it is inhabited by 2.2 million people. You see a place they call Nablus. You see, Nablus so populated you can breathe and your head will fall on somebody. And what happening there, apart from you having your view whether you support Israel or the people from Gaza, but at the end of the day, they are God's creation. Whether they subscribe to Allah or they are subscribed to the Ancient of Days, they are God's creation. And as singing Sandra sang one time, nobody wins a war, Mr. P. Even in that conflict, then nobody wins because everybody loses. And you ask yourself, how long? How long? And I bring that back to context, Mr. Pierre. Because the same book says, until the gospel reaches every nook and cranny, then the Ancient of Days wouldn't set foot himself here. You know. And if some people who know making it difficult to preach is a hard thing, you know, so we have to call them out. Yes, caller, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning, Master Carl and Mr. Pierre Hanigwe.
Hey!
Morning.
Hey, how you all doing?
How are you? It's always a pleasure to hear you, man.
I'm doing very good. I'm doing really good. I want to endorse what you just said, that something is not right. And you know why a lot of things are not right?
Yeah.
It's because we are governed by ignorance and arrogance.
Definitely.
And I have, before I give you, before I justify what I say here, let me say too that I think transformation is in full effect, you know.
It is what?
It is in full effect.
It is.
Because Grenada has been transformed from the Isle of Spice to the Isle of Spite.
Spite, vindictiveness, decolonization,
So I have a
relocation.
Case of vindictiveness, but it would not hurt me, but hurt the elderly residents of the Cadrona Home for the Aged.
Once it troubles your conscience, it hurts you.
Exactly. Because I've been associated with this home since the year of Ivan, was 2004.
Yeah.
As a teacher of the school, I had a group in the school and we did a project after Ivan to clean that area, beautify it, and erect a sign. And this was as part of World Global Youth Service Day. So since then, my group has been involved in Cadrona Home. We have been reading to them. We have been part of the activities to commemorate the month of the elderly, Games Day, whatever. When I retired, I continued visiting them and reading to them. However, in 2014, I was appointed by Cabinet to serve on the board of management of that home, and I've been there since. Now, my last letter from Cabinet was for May of 2021 to May of 2023. So, even if our term as a board expired in May of this year, 2023, the board continued to meet and to support the management of the home. And I must say, kudos to the members of the board. We had an excellent team working. I volunteer to spearhead activities for the month of the elderly. So we know October is the month of the elderly. So the meeting in August, the Minister for Social Services attended the meeting, and that was her first meeting. Well, she popped in. She was not there at the beginning. She popped in at the meeting, and so she was part of the meeting when I highlighted the need to start planning activities, and I was given that task. So we had a small committee and we planned for the month of the elderly. Do you know, we planned an open day for the 27th of this month. We were supposed to meet on Wednesday to finalize our activities. And it was an open day to encourage the community and family and relatives of the residents to come and mingle with them, make them happy. And so I had already invited the neighboring schools, St. Mary's, Byland. I was yet to go to Paraclete, but we had a lot of plans to make it a really festive occasion for the residents there. Wednesday, when I turned up at the home about 1 o'clock, I was told that the PS instructed no meeting.
Oh, yeah?
That we should not meet, even if the chairman of the board, Dr. Renault, pleaded with her, tried to explain to her that although she, as the chair, is not there, I am the deputy chair and I am spearheading the activities, and I am more than willing to conduct the meeting. She said, no, we should not meet, the board should not meet until next month because they have new members and they have letters. As to what the letters say, I don't know. But I just cannot understand, and I see that as an abuse of power, an act of spite, and I must say, I think it is that spite is directed to me, but it's so unfortunate that the poor elderly persons there will be robbed an opportunity to really have some fun and excitement in their life. So we should not meet. So how do we plan if we cannot meet? Who is this affecting? And we are supposed to be celebrating these elderly persons who have made their contribution. I'm anxious to hear what the minister have in her address, what she had to say. I don't know if it has gone yet, as to the government's policy and programs for the elderly. But then again, we know they say one thing and do the other. Action is louder than words. So, words don't mean anything to me now because they say so much things and we see the opposite happening. But this thing is disturbing. It's rather disturbing to me. So all my efforts, although I don't care too much about my efforts, I'm concerned about the elderly persons. What did they plan for them?
They don't want you on the board.
They don't want me, no, I know that.
You see, sometimes we underestimate what restorative justice means. In practicality, it is political vengeance.
Yes, it is.
Realignment. That's simple.
Vengeance. But, I am laughing here.
You wondering how you could reach Kwaide?
Yes.
Quite on a board.
Imagine, and that's a voluntary board, eh?
What are telling them, NNPM, don't volunteer in these things. Don't get involved.
We are not remunerated,
No.
Huh? So all those years I gave, but I do not mind, and I'll continue. I would visit the home. And
yeah, they don't want them. I think this government is stupid. For the best description I could give them, it is straight stupid. Because what you're doing, you don't have the level of resource persons available, and you're running those you have because you perceive.
People who are committed.
Yeah, you're running those.
People who are committed and devoted to the cause of those persons.
Yeah, they.
But the thing is, children and elderly, Don't make joke with them, you know.
No, the NDC is like that always.
Who love and care for them. That is why I love my people so much. That is why the elderly in St. Andrews Northwest did not attend the luncheon planned for them on Sunday in St. Mary's. Ask them, the organizers, how many elderly attended the luncheon planned for them. You don't insult these people, deny them certain privileges, and then you want to feed them? They're so stupid.
The NDC always hostile towards them. It's kind of sad. It saddens one heart, but
it is sad. It is
they're
sad.
always like that. They just get worse, you know.
Yes.
This period of time, it is more glaring because you have
arrogance,
a void of compassion
and abuse of power. So because the PS has the authority, she has the power in her hands. No meeting, regardless.
Yeah, well, you know, you just have to lead them with a thing.
My God.
There's
Have a
not
nice
much you
day
can
and continue the work.
But that's a very sad situation, eh?
It is sad. Take care.
Yes.
You have a blessed day.
I'm not disappointed, you know. I say to people I've been studying this political party, NDC. When Tobias Clement said that the NDC is not an inclusive party, he was asked the question after he left, he had issues with NNP, whether he would join NDC. He said the NDC is not an inclusive party. I wait for 1 month to hear if anybody from the National Democratic Congress would refute the statement. The statement didn't come from one of the radio personalities. The statement came from the opposition leader. And he accused one of the main political parties in the country of not being inclusive. And they were not even able to say, you're not speaking the truth.
They didn't defend that.
They couldn't defend it because it was true. And I say to people, the National Democratic Congress have always been hostile to people in the lower income group. And you could go back in 1990, 2008, but listen to the language that comes from the mouth of the spokesperson and endorsed by NDC members. So I'm not surprised they're going to weed out. They don't want the people who perceive to be NNP, not even a volunteer board in their own community.
Yeah.
And they have to be stupid twice.
Maybe they're using the detoxification.
Well, it's detoxification and political victimization, which they call restorative justice. And they have to be stupid because what they're going to do is to undermine the very fabric of our society, create fraction, and create bitterness. That's all what they're doing. Nothing positive will come from it. Because we live in small communities. And if you don't even want people volunteer to serve on a board to help the elderly, because you bring cola down there, I just see them. That's why I say I see them with contempt. When I look at them, sometimes you make a little, you smile and so because you feel sorry for them. I just look at them with contempt. You know, you have individuals who have been in the education system, been involved in the community from day one. Their parents have been involved in community activities all their life. So their involvement in the Cardrona home have nothing to do with green, red, or yellow.
But Mr. Perry, understand this, you know. A voluntary boarding. Let's take the call. Good day, caller.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
As I hear the lady speak there about the Cardrona home, I want to know the elderly lady in Cardrona home that will be celebrating her 202 years birthday and we plan to be there and to keep it up for her. I want to know if that wouldn't happen today again.
Well, you have
when it's supposed to happen?
Today.
Oh.
Well, is it PS now? Maybe the new board might have it after.
Well, the previous color listing, so you could color, if you know about the birthday celebration, you could show a little light on it for people to hear.
Well, if they can have meeting, you know, they could go in and interfere with people, please.
This thing and is like joke, you know, it's like pranks.
It's not a prank. The national
like you want nine if nah boy.
The National Democratic Congress is going to, you know, there are some things that are not tangible.
Their mind don't getting better, you know, Mr. P.
How do you get better? They sit down and plan and bag of lies and a greedy group of vultures. How do you get better? They must be planning the next gala in Europe.
Yeah, because I hear they say a person brought something to my attention. He said he had to have some heads of government something and the prime minister to go in, but he choosing some gala.
You don't have time for that. You go to galas, fly all over the world to galas. But Canada encounter with is CARICOM.
Yep.
The prime minister don't have time for that. Like waste of time. Go to a gala instead.
Could make a money day.
Yeah, he could make a money day. He may not make any money in that head. And
you have to go and sit down the long.
And then they might talk about Haiti and he really dumb them Haitian already. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Igwe.
Morning.
3 weeks back, the Ministry of Agriculture send the representative, the man that coming on the farm.
Extension officer.
Extension officer. Friday. 3 weeks back, get 3 men. Get your 3 ID card. Get the name and ID card. And they will be getting 5 days. 3 men, 5 days. What? Saturday evening, the man called me. The boss said the program off. He didn't hold. Last week Friday, he come straight to me. 10. 3 men, 3 days. I said, hey. 2 weeks about it was 5 days. Why he come quite way down 3 men, 3 days? What? 3 men could do 3 days on your farm? What? I said, I waste that time. But I still take it. I still take it. 2 days the last day. You understand? So they end up matching everything. And what Israel doing to the Palestine is a crime. It's a crime. Because Israel know all the bomb they bombing there. They don't killing no Hamas. Because they know Hamas is underground. They know that. Americans know that. Hamas is underground. You want to find Hamas, you have to go underground and find them. So why bombing them people little place and killing all the people? 70 years, going on 70-something years now, the people being slaughtered.
You agree with what Hamas did to Israel?
Oh, I like that.
You like when they go in?
Mr. Pierre, the Palestinian people go through that 74, 75 years now, you know.
We have to go back on. I just want to encourage some people to do a little research on the history of the Palestine and the Israeli people. But we have to take a break now. Sorry, we got to continue that discussion another time.
All these years.
We have to continue that discussion another time. We have to take a break.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, I have something from the Holy Spirit Church from Paraclete. They have the annual harvest. That's Wednesday, the 25th of October. They'll be having food, clothing, drinks, confectionaries, barbecue, raffle, flowers, and plants, games, and more attraction. Music by DJ Knockout. So everybody's invited to the Paraclete Holy Spirit Church annual harvest. That's October the 25th. Don't miss it, folks. And
that is a Pierre Church?
Yeah, man. That's the big.
Yeah, they say
before you go, though, thing. Folks, call me. You could check call me on the bus terminus for your supplies of sea moss.
All right.
in $15 amount, $25 amount, and $40 amount.
Up top.
So check Kami for your supply of CMAS on the terminus.
All right, we're going to a break. News is next, folks. Stay tuned.
Where you go when you're walking, what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful. We have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you have to move with care in that jungle out there. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. When you're moving, which direction you're going, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk. Where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
In your search for happiness, you got to leave a little room for loneliness. More things could happen all of a sudden before you realize it's only a disguise. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. With what you do and how you're doing it. If you do, when you're doing it, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update produced by Triple N. Details when we get back.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Welcome back. Locally, the Grand Neck Community Partnership Initiative has issued a call for project proposals for 2024. The call invites established community groups and non-profit organizations in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique to apply for grants to undertake projects in the areas of social service, community development, education, environment, science and technology, energy, sports, arts, heritage, and culture. In the region in Guyana, with over 7,000 government projects under implementation across the country, Vice President Dr. Barra Jack Dio said any attempt between public officials and contractors to engage in corrupt practices should be reported to the highest offices in government.
But the contractors have to understand that if they they comply with this, they're not only breaching the system, they're doing something illegal. They should contact us, like some are doing this. Please contact the President's office or my office. It will be treated as high priority. Or Public Works, the Minister. Please contact us, any person trying to shake you down. That is my message to people out there. Similarly, if people say to you they can get a house lot for you and somebody in housing, don't give them your money. Every week, people coming to cry by us, some lady run away with their money. People walk into the ministry, go and talk to the guard, they collect money from them. This is a major issue. If you do it, you're not going to, and we find out, you may not even get a house lot that you're eligible for if you apply for it. Please don't go to middlemen. Don't go, and there's no middleman here. Anybody who says that to you, you just bring it to the President's attention or the Minister or my attention or the tender board. Get it out in the public domain. Go public. Go public with it. That's what we need. Go public with it.
Around the globe, the UN peacekeeping mission in Democratic Republic of Congo has suspended some of its peacekeepers in response to reports of serious misconduct, adding that it had zero tolerance for sexual exploitation and abuse.
The mission, known as MONUSCO, did not say how many peacekeepers were suspended or give details of the accusations against them. MONUSCO has previously faced allegations of sexual abuse, with the UN vowing to crack down on such behavior. The statement, released late on Wednesday, said precautionary measures had been initiated in line with the Secretary-General's zero-tolerance policy. The measures, it added, included suspension from duty and confinement to quarters, pending an investigation. MONUSCO has some 17,000 personnel deployed in Congo's east, where various militias and rebel groups continue to fight. Its presence has become increasingly unpopular, for what critics say is a failure to protect civilians. Last month, Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi told the UN General Assembly that he had asked his government to fast-track the withdrawal of the peacekeeping mission to ensure that it begins by the end of the year.
And in sports, Jamaica's senior Reggae Boys eased past Grenada 4-1 in the CONCACAF Nations League Group B encounter to move one step closer to League A quarterfinals. Trevon Williams' 30th goal got Grenada's consolation in a keenly contested encounter at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on Thursday, October 12th. This ends the latest update of news. Thank you for listening.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour. 91.5 Real FM got you covered.
Little England, you asked for a store that speaks to quality and we gave you. Now, you have started asking for brands and we have brought them in for you. Little England has all the brands you're looking for. Washing machines. We have Hoover, Indesit, Beko and Candy at the best possible prices. Deep freezers, fridge freezers, all sporting the Sharp and Hoover brand. Microwaves of top quality, Panasonic and Kenwood. We stock the best in smart TVs, JVC, Sharp and Panasonic. Now listen, this electric and top stove kettles, steam and non-steam irons, toasters, Bluetooth speakers, phone charger and cables, including wireless chargers, top brand names in blenders, solar lights, for both inside and out. The only appliance we do not stock is a transformer, because all our appliances are for the authentic power source to 20 volts. So check us out at Little England. We aren't so small after all. Little England, located Main Street to Tails. Call us on 458-4111. That number again, 458-4111.
Your new Grenlec bill is even easier to read and still has all the valuable information you need to track and manage your usage.
Hey Mom, okay, your friendly tech support is here. So you got the new Grenlec bill? Let's take a look. The new bill makes it even easier to see your bill total, the due date, and much more. And take a closer look. It actually is a lot easier to understand. Let me show you. You can still see exactly what the charges are for, but in a great new format, it even shows how the cost of generating and delivering the electricity to you is calculated using your actual usage. And Mom,
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes. When you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Hungry, anyone? You heard about it, and it's finally here. Velma's Restaurant and Bar, located High Street Sateras in St. Patrick. They're open from 6 a.m. until midnight. Breakfast is available from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. On the menu is roast bake, sawfish, and many, many mouth-watering items. Lunch is a close second, with items that can be grilled to your satisfaction. We have steamed fish and other seafoods too. For the health-conscious ones, we provide vegan and vegetarian dishes. Looking for something that will hit the spot? From 5 p.m. until close, come and enjoy our burgers and fries. At Velma's, we cater and host parties. We have an on-site bakery where you can place your orders for fruitcakes and other pastries. We also have local juices. Listen to Real FM for your daily menu to place your order in advance. Call us at 419-5622. That number again, 419-5622. Velma's Restaurant and Bar. Come eat lunch with us.
Join the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives for the observance of World Food Day celebrations October 16th to 20th, 2023 under the theme Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Monday, October 16th, the ministers address to the nation and panel discussion dissecting the issue of water management and sustainability. Tuesday, Eating Water campaign with the distribution of water-based foods at strategic locations throughout Grenada. Wednesday and Thursday, virtual engagement on water management and the blue economy. The town of Grenville will then come alive on Friday, October 20th. Official ceremony, grand exhibition, and culture show. World Food Day celebrations 2023, embracing all in the sustainable management of our water resources, celebrating our farmers, vendors, agro-processors, and value chain partners. World Food Day celebrations, October 16th to the 20th, 2023.
Grenada, as we celebrate 50 years of independence. I love my Grenada. Made in Grenada presents the celebration of 50 years of Calypso.
Open me a little better night, honey.
One stage.
No, not so fast.
One show. Grenada's best Calypsonians performing Grenada's greatest hits. Sunday, February 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. sharp. Grenada National Stadium. More information coming soon.
When the DJ play Peter Humphrey, she raise her hand and she tell me, making no place sweeter than home.
From the north, covering south, east, and west. This is Real FM.
Tell me candidly, too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes, yeah. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking and beating. So maybe I repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging, oh, now we and I did what we prophesied in the country. Streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing, now this is my humble petition. Another date for election, go now.
And I think this is how we describe our government. This is a real word. It's not made up.
Okay.
It has Greek origins. It is called a kakistocracy. Google it. A kakistocracy.
Surely you're making things up now.
Google it.
I mean, I love the word, but what is the meaning?
Okay. You Google it and you tell me the meaning.
Okay.
And tell me this does not adequately describe our government.
Now I'm typing kaki into my work computer.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy. And give me the definition.
Literally, a government by the worst people.
Yes.
A government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state. Okay, so full of the kaki people.
It's not
I
even
can't believe it's an actual word.
and it's not even an Afrikaans word you'd think where kak comes from. Hey?
Wow.
What do you call a parliament full of these people? A case.
Ah, he enjoyed that.
Touché, my man. Touché.
Yes, Eagle.
For the PS to do what they're doing in the Cajuna home, Mr. Pierre, it ought to be a government by the least suitable people. It can't be sane ordinary people. Let's take the call.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Master Carl.
Morning.
Good morning, and Mr. Pierce.
Yes, good morning.
Thank God for life. Thank God for being in the land of the living. Without Him, we are nothing. Master Carl.
Hey.
I sit down and I listen to the different tapes that you play. I wonder if the members of the NDC really listening to what?
Yeah, they does listen.
They don't listen?
Yeah.
And they get an answer?
Mm-hmm.
Master Carl, I wonder if they're thinking twice.
Nah, man, they may don't care.
They don't care.
No, you
But
can't
you
tell me
have a
people care and do know what they're doing there.
You have a man what care. Master Carl, I just hear Mr. Pierce saying, where the can come from? Who's saying the can, which is they say is the Prime Minister of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Tell the Prime Minister, the mongoose, the sun hot now. He rigid. But tell him he have time. The mongoose does get rabies.
Mm-hmm. Nose getting red.
And fly does they on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him don't climb too high. Take it time. Wait. If he had listened to the past Prime Minister, he had to go back to school and take coaching and to know he knows nothing how to rule a country. And the members with him, they're worse than him. And Master Carl, this is the worst prime minister, whatever passed in Grenada. We come out under Ivan, we come out under MLE, and the COVID, well, that one come to finish Grenada. Have a blessed day.
Very interesting comments there, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, and I think perhaps that sums up quite a lot. The National Democratic Congress is not an inclusive political party.
Yes, you made that
And
point.
when they're in government, they don't practice inclusivity. And that sometimes is hard for black wizards say. Inside NDC, you have NNP. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Kal, good morning. And this is to call the people that's needed, that they need. Right? You have a farmer. You have a farmer to take care of. You're not working. The government see that the poor class of people, they need a help. They give them a little job that way they could get finance to maintain the family. Job they get there. You have, and you're calling for the needy and the greedy. Needy and the greedy. Look, people that have the poor pressure, look at how many contracts they get in. More they get, more they want. So, you see who is the real greedy? Who is the real greedy? Who are the real greedy ones? It's those who have already and they still want more. They still want more. You call them grabbers. They grab things for themselves. Everything they keep for the same step here. Right? So when people call the people something, right, the truth will come to see the truth. The same people who are calling people needy and greedy. Look at them today. Look at them who have 2 and 3 contracts. Right? And more they get, more they want. They can't satisfy. They can't satisfy. You look at himself here with the contract again, with the Prime Minister. He said that the government at the time want to put people on contract so that they could fire them at will. I would say if NMP want to put people on contract to fire them at will, you have a pandemic, which was the COVID. What did the NMP send home anybody? No, they didn't send home anybody. They keep all the workers, and they even find assistance for people who are working in tourism belt so that they could get finance to help the family. And that was a prayer with NMP could do that, but that is not NMP policy. NMP policy is make sure they have a cake, and the cake should share among everybody. But this government now, the cake should share for only some people and forget the rest. I remember something in Barbados, about 5,000 workers was sent home during the COVID. At that time, the father, the mother, and the son, all of them end up in that batch. But because of the care and the love of NMP at the time, they know what is the problem when you send home people. What could happen? What could happen? But NMP is seek the interest of people. They care about people, and they wanted to make sure that everyone in the country they could reach out and help better the living condition of the people of Greater Caribbean Pitamatic. And I always say, when you help the poor people, it comes like the business people get help. Because more money you put in the hands of the poor people is also better for the business people. But this government, they don't see that. All what they see is to help themselves. Fully pack it, enrich it, enlarge it itself. I call these people vampires. They come to suck the last breath and the last drop of blood from the poor people of Greater Caribbean Pitamatic. But I want them to know they could do as much as they could do, but there is a God above. And everything we do to people, we have to answer by it. Yeah.
Yes, you see, that's why the statement, the government is not an inclusive government. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Peg, good morning.
Yes.
I have got a voice this morning.
Yeah, we'll do what you have.
With a bad cold. But
Yeah.
good morning to you, Mr. Carl.
Yeah.
Igwe, good morning.
Yeah.
This morning, I listened to all the program. Fantastic program. Excellent program. I always bring the truth forward to the people. But I look at the Bible, I just read it, and I look at it. And the Bible the Bible got every one of us life to read it. It tells us everything about ourselves as a people. You tell the people You see, and to me, this is the will of God, and God last testimony to the people. We, the people, must listen. He tell you when the disobedience of the people, what happened to them? Sin will follow them. He tell you how they bring up kings, because the people cried out. When people cried out for what they want, he said the voice of the people is the voice of God. Give the people what they want. The people get what they want. Now they bring some young children, young little prime minister, he calls himself a prime minister. When you have your children, they like the seed. And when you plant the seed must grow, so you're able to bear fruits. They can't bear fruits because they're inexperienced. They need to listen to the elders. We as young children, young people, we must have elders, and the elders is the one that help govern the nation. But they refuse to do that. As God tell the people, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. They haven't got no knowledge. So because they haven't got no knowledge, they will perish. So you, Mr. Carl, Mr. Pierre, talking to the Grenadian people, give them understanding of the way things must go in this country. It's not about yourself. It's about the people. It's about the nation. Because the people ask for a change. They don't want the old man no more. They're disrespectful towards the old man. So they ask for a change, they give them a change. Now the change comes, the yoke they put on the shoulder. The yoke was on the other people's shoulder in the days of old. Now they take that same yoke and put it on the shoulder because they deny to listen to the elders. During the campaign, I listened to them. They take the walking stick. They have a wheelchair. They say, let's give it the old. NMP people are old. Those who govern are old people. Give people Charlie's walking stick. Here is a wheelchair in Carrico there was. Here is a wheelchair. Put him in a wheelchair. Throw a piece on him. Yeah, make it stale. He said, we don't want them. Why do them old people and them? Right? But today, we have to look back for the old people because the old people grow in experience. They have knowledge. They grow in experience. And they have wisdom. It takes wisdom to govern the country. It's not something you come in and you just governing. It takes wisdom to govern the country. And it takes you people to open the eyes of the people to give them understanding because we will perish. Because with lack of knowledge, we're perishing. And they are suffering. And the young ones are suffering too. They're crying out. I see a big change. You could see a big change. And every time NDC come in power, everything go quiet. Even the trees don't want to blow. Unless if there is something is coming in the air. The trees don't want to blow. The birds don't want to sing. I see it happening in 2008. And I see it happening today. The people is on their knees. Those who flourishing, they're happy. But those who don't getting anything, they're unhappy. Because some of them is unhappy, they have children. You must put the pot on fire. You must look in the cupboard to give the children something to eat or drink. The children went forward already. Now they're going backward. Have a nice day, Mr. Pierre and Mr. Carlos.
Yes, you too, and have a blessed weekend.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Bye-bye.
All right. Mr. Pierre, as we approach another presentation of the budget, because to me, and I said it here, persons talk about budget consultation, but I find it more joke and papi show are going on for the consultation. So I didn't expect much in the budget, save and except I expect new taxes.
Higher taxes.
New and higher taxes. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that, because I don't just like to say things like that. The government of Grenada is set to repeal the Fiscal Responsibility Act and replace it with the Fiscal Reliance Act. Among changes is increasing the wage bill to 13%, where it is currently 9%. Now, this thing might be sung just for reading, but it is serious in the context of Grenada going forward. You understand, Mr. P? No. The economy presently is not doing well. Reasons for saying this, Mr. P, simply this. This government has asked the Parliament of Grenada on 2 occasions in a budget year for permission to borrow money. The first time was $350 million. And the second time was 100 million US, which is our $270 million, Mr. P. So that tells you a story. We recognize that this present government has received for the first half of this year $33.3 million by way of grant. The corresponding period last year with the NP in power, the NP received $157.5 million. So you have a shortfall of $124 million. So that tells you the fact that they're trying to make money out of the gifts, the houses, tells you that. However, Mr. Pierre, the issue about the Fiscal Responsibility Act is simply this. If you don't grow the economy, the gross domestic product, you have less by way of monies, Mr. Pierre. Now the CBI, what they bet on last budget as way of financing the budget, we all know what happened to the CBI program. We know what go happen next year to it, because they won't be able to sell people passport for Belarus and Russia and Russians again, Mr. Pierre. So the 200 million they boasting about, they won't make that. So they have to find ways of running this country. And one of the ways they're going to do is to increase taxes. Now, but I say this, the Fiscal Responsibility Act and the 9% and the Resilient Act as it relates to 13%. If you don't grow the economy, and we're doing simple basic maths here, we don't trying two things. If you grow gross domestic product to about $3 billion, Mr. Pierre, 9% of $3 billion is $270 million. Simply this. But if your economy contract and the gross domestic product is less, 13% of $1 billion is only $130 million, Mr. Pierre. So raising it to 13% is not a guarantee that it will be more with the prevailing circumstances as it relates to the economy. Being in fact the financing of the budget, which was heavily skewed on the CBI. And we here on Real FM, Mr. Pierre, we warn them. You know. We warn about the budget because the reliance on the CBI, the manner in which the CBI is being run presently with agents of CBI, government ministers, Minister of Finance, all kind of things, the international community would speak. So that's why the international community, in terms of donation, the donors, grants, Mr. Pierre, grant funding has dropped significantly, all because of the performance and how this government is behaving. So when we talk about the color talk about how they call the home buyer up there, because you know the international community hearing these things. When Andy and them get a lot of money from GBN, the international community hearing these things. When Ron selling gift, the international community hearing these things. When the same one who approves CBI investors is the same one who sets how the program should run, and is the same one who is an agent of CBI, the international community is watching and listening. So if they think it's only calculated and Mr. Pierre what they on Real FM, the international community listening and the international community have an impact. So Grenada had received less grants. So that's the reason of receiving less grants, Mr. Pierre. And going forward to the budget, I am concerned Because if you decide it's tax is the way to go, it don't have little disposal income within the community. When you take it, Mr. Pierre, what happened?
Well, I've not seen the government has done anything significant and major, even the policies to grow the economy. And that have to be significant.
Yes.
The infrastructure, the laws, the 9%, the things that was put in place is to help Grenadians manage themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the past, we have not been disciplined. We have had a number of structural adjustment program, and that's why government legislate the 9%. The amount supposed to go on reserve. That is to help you discipline yourself. But the government is not confident that they could grow the economy. And from the time they come in power, they have done absolutely nothing to grow the economy. Rather, they shut the economy. Now, one of the main factors in economies, particularly in a small country, is confidence. And government is the biggest employer in the economy. So if in the beginning of the year, your parents tell you, bang your belly, thing coming back, what you expect? The private sector in Grenada is unable to pull up the slack when the government fails. I mean, this thing has happened in 2008. It's like a recurring decimal. It's like a movie. The same thing
we
that
see
happened
a movie already.
in 2008, 2013 is the same thing. The government came in power, they attacked the elderly, they fired the Imani, the confidence in the economy dropped. The low productivity, and the government was struggling for money for expenditure, current expenditure. So they started to sell assets. It's the same movie that's going on.
And Mr. Pierre, that is why, yes, Dennis, that is why I'll keep calling your name. Because you and Lennox Andrew ought to know.
Better.
That is why I'm calling these two fellas' name, you know, Mr. Pierre.
Well, I still believe that Dennis Cornwall is the only hope. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good morning. You know, I sat there and I listened to the program, and that thought come back into my mind. In 2008, when NDC knew they was losing the election, you know what they do? They go and sign $40 million for servants to get back pay when they know they didn't have it, when they know they didn't have a single cent to pay public servants. But just for politics, political mileage, they go and they do that to put pressure on under the government were coming in. So the government were came in now, had also go and find out. So these people never anything. They don't care if they sink Grenada, they don't care if they sink this country, just for politics. So when I tell Carl that when coming to election, they go try to see how they go put back that 150, even though they're bossing the economy.
They go make promise, they won't be able to do it.
Okay, I don't disagree to what you're saying. They mightn't able to, you will say they wouldn't able to do it, but they will try somehow because they know they're losing.
You see,
just to put pressure.
Yeah.
Carla, listen this.
I understand what you're saying.
Listen this.
That's what you're saying.
You see the outlook. If you're not growing the economy, and this government has not demonstrated any program or plans to grow the economy. Because if you're not growing the economy, the gross domestic product would not improve. So even if you bring it at 13% and the economy is not growing, it is not a difference. And as it relates to monies, and I had to make that point, Mr. Pierre, because I was listening your program yesterday and your regular caller made some utterances. Not that I'm thinking, but I just need to put things in perspective, Mr. Pierre. Now, he talked about the payment of pension and only this government has put that amount of money in the economy at one time, which is not true. The 40 million promised to public workers in 2022, the NNP had to find that 40 million, Mr. Pierre, added to $110 million owed unpaid claims in the Treasury. So you're talking about nearly $150 million the NNP had to find as it returns. Plus, the NNP had to find monies to pay salaries. And that is something we as NNP, we don't talking about, we letting them jump up about thing. Yes, Carl.
Yes, thank you, Carl.
And that is something, Mr. Pierre, we as NNP does fail to explain, because every time they come with this pension, 70-something million, but NNP had to find 40 million, which NDC promised public workers, plus 110 million unpaid claims in the Treasury to local businesses. There were a lot of businesses closed down during 2008 to 2013, and we're seeing that movie again, as you say, Mr. Pierre. Added to the fact that NNP had to find monies, and if you speak to Dr. Mitchell, he would indicate as to how those monies was realized for salary. Up on that, public workers got increase every year. Up on that shed sacrifice, they got a one-off payment of $1,000. Plus, the 1 year they received 2 salaries in December. And you have people saying NNP did nothing. But the nothing bugger are working now. Because everybody realizing is a difference, and I hear people saying it was NNP. Now, the Prime Minister made some bold pronouncement again. That is why I'm concerned. And I'm looking forward to the presentation of the budget. He say at one time he didn't come here to solve debt, he come here to solve people. And the debt now is $2.059 billion, Mr. Pierre. And the external debt is 45%, And the domestic debt, Mr. Pierre, that is what I'm concerned about. You could always, the external debt reschedule and all them kind of thing, and based on the terms the NNP got at 0.something percent and 10 years grace and 40 years to pay. We could think about what's about the internal debt.
Your call on the line?
Yes,
yes,
good
morning.
Good morning.
I don't know where to start from.
You're speaking a bit low. Speak up.
I don't know where to start.
Start in the center. Just start it.
Yeah, in the center.
But you raise your voice a bit. The people want to hear.
Yeah, so much thing is going on. What I have to say this morning, I really don't know what is going on here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. I don't know who is controlling the state. I don't know.
Them job.
I don't know. Listen to me. Nobody, are you speaking and are you speaking and are you speaking and are you speaking? No changes. Every time I look, I think the thing gets worse. How much ministers out of the state? I think Prime Minister was released already again. Yeah? What is going on in Grenada? Where are the opposition? Where are the people to help us here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? What is going on? What is going on with us here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Who is ruling after God? Who is ruling that state here? Everybody doing what they want and what they like. What is going on? We only talking and you just talking. They're not studying nobody. I don't run all the more, you don't care. More you talk, more they do. Look what happened with Ron and the child that bounced down. Ron was on an interview on Monday, gone with Red Along. And it's very, 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 very sad. I don't know somebody could lie like that. Very, very, very sad. If it was I, when bounced a child, my license was suspended. And I couldn't drive unless the court master finished and things like that. Nobody, everybody tied down. Everybody in Grenada tied down the force, the people, everybody tied down in Grenada. What is going on with us here? What is going on with us here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? just talk all with us. And they don't study nobody. We don't know what is going on. We only hear some people that want travel. We hear from this one that want travel. Nobody knows what is going on. We have to get up and get.
Colin, one of the things that is important is for people to understand that our people deserve the government that they have.
Yeah, they.
The Grenadians had an opportunity to vote in election. The election was free and fair.
Yes.
NDC won the election fair and square. A lot of people perhaps did not realize that NDC is not an inclusive government. And I think what needs to happen, Grenadians supposed to understand that government have policy. And when you decide to support a government, you must support a government in your interest. So if you are a low-income person, support a government that is inclusive.
But Mr. Pierre, things are going wrong in Grenada.
Well, it's only going wrong.
Nobody is not saying anything.
Color, it's only going wrong for the marginalized, the people in the lower income group. The people in the higher income group having a field day. They're traveling, they're getting money from GDB, they enjoy themselves.
They're getting money from CES, they're getting contracts.
They're getting money from CES, they're getting contracts.
Look at what happened, look what the minister do. With how much money
Well, yes, so you don't think the minister enjoyed himself?
It was the NNP that had nothing to say.
NNP is different. But the people rejected them and you have to respect
them. They don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Even the head of them, but the prime minister was saying nothing, they were saying the fault of the ministers with him.
What if you have the ability to share our program, and some of the discussion and the information you get, you could always pass it on. And that is important because people have to know that our people deserve the government that they have.
Mr.
Yes? Thank you, Colin.
The Prime Minister come into power because of the promises he had made to we Grenadians.
Well, the people believe the promises. He lied for them and they believe. The people made the decision.
500 houses and swimming pool.
500 houses per parish or what it was? A year.
500 houses in all parishes and swimming pool. And not right.
So that's 7 5 at 35. That's 3,500 houses in
every district and swimming pool.
And people believe that.
In campaigning.
So if you go in the WAPI, and you better not care and you lose, you have to go back in the WAPI again.
Anyway, very, very sad for us. We talk so much and we're not acting.
What we need to do is to inform ourselves. We must know who we're voting for. We must know why we're voting. We must ask questions. The opposition leader said the NDC is not an inclusive political party or government. They asked him, are you going to join? He said, no. They're not an inclusive party. They're not sensitive to the needs of the marginalized. They are hostile towards the elderly people, physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. Look at the NDC attitude towards agriculture workers. Look at how easy they feel so comfortable to send MNIB workers home. 30 workers from Grand Bay Estate to send them home. Look at the NDC attitude to people who are partly employed. Because of the economic situation, government increased partly employed people. Look at the attitude towards 10,000 toilets. They said, yes, caller, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. P, and how are you?
Great.
And everybody there is okay?
Yes, they're good.
Yes, I hear you repeat how they did that. Most of the people and them, when they come and lie to them, they think they didn't really check in on what will go on. Well, even some of the high minister of the gospel what support them, probably they expect for them to do better. But I nearly heard one of them, perhaps those who get high work now, they afraid to speak. I don't know if this one get any high position with them. He almost confessed to my hearing and saying, well, look at the prime, sometimes when he go to talk, he say, anyway, I don't want to bring politics, but look at this present prime minister. He called me and with the thing, and then what I saw after, 2 months after, what he did, he went and played job. That is what my ears heard from one of the high ministers of the gospel. So you see, past they support him a lot. A lot of this minister and them of the gospel support, they support it highly to get where he is now. But they had a stake because they hate Kit Mitchell. Some of them hate Kit Mitchell because Kit Mitchell like to whine on stage too much. But better they allow Kit Mitchell.
I think because he was successful, it was political jealousy.
Yes.
He didn't whine on any biscuit. Political. No, he don't whine on no biscuit.
Yes. So what is the difference? What is the thing with the job, the whining and the job?
Well, the question on the job really play out the prime minister, because the prime minister played job, but up to today, he wouldn't call on the young men who involved in it to play with the substance he was playing with.
No.
Food grade substance. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always say he's a fake.
He deceived a lot of them. He deceived. This one couldn't keep it so much. He don't come out with everything. But
a lot of members of the members of the NDC are disappointed.
Yes.
And that is why they cannot defend it. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
God bless.
A lot of members of the National Democratic Congress are very disappointed in this government. You may not want to hear them openly objecting, but in speaking to them, they're very, very disappointed. The Prime Minister played job. The Prime Minister would not encourage the young men not to play with oil. But the Prime Minister says he's so health conscious.
He watching.
He raised the price of sugar. He's so health conscious, but he want to increase the production of white potato.
Mr. P, I need to ask you a question. You've been a driver on the road for a very long time. When you're driving on what you call your man over, or you articulate the road? When you're driving, you man over, or you articulate?
There's some words that could mean the same thing.
It depends,
those words could mean the same thing. You're supposed to drive with Duke and attention.
So when Ron say articulated the road is right?
My heart goes out to Ron. Ron talking too much. When you meet in an accident, and particularly if you bounce a child, the best thing is to shut your mouth. Mm-hmm. You do everything you're possible to get the child to the hospital as much as possible.
Buy juice for
you immediately go and report to the police. Mm-hmm. You go and report to your insurance, and whatever you could do to assist the parents if they in a financial position that you could help them. But you keep to shut your mouth, because these things have to go to the court. And as a minister, I don't know why some of them do advise Ron to shut his mouth on this accident issue.
As one Calypsonian put it, Ron should keep your square.
Well, I mean,
make hustle and time up again.
At that time,
no, he trying to matter in the court of public opinion.
At that time,
but the public say guilty.
Yeah, I think as a young man, and it saddens my heart that all these members of NDC cannot tap him on the shoulder and say you need to go quiet on these things you're saying on a child is damaged.
I publicly pronounce Mr. Pierre that Mr. Ron Reddit should talk to me. Let me advise him.
Well, you will come and talk to you, but there is enough.
Because who advising him, putting him in trouble? Ron say he articulated the road.
You don't know what that means. You don't know what they mean by articulate and maneuver. Well, all you have to do is to drive with due care and attention. And he just get a license. He young, he exuberant, he arrogant, and he lack institutional knowledge. Shut him out.
Chatters on the street say, well, I wasn't there. Chatters on the street say after election, he went to Dusty Area and say he come for it.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Not so it does happen.
Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost the caller?
Hello?
Yeah, I think we lost the caller. One have to be, a child is involved and you want to be very careful. I'm sorry for the brother. Ron is a young driver and he's going to make blunders and mistakes, but there is enough people among him that interact with him on a daily basis. Persuader could have told Ron, you're meeting an accident, look at it.
No, Dennis could have tell him that too.
Dennis could have tell him that.
Well, he and Persuader might have been closer than Dennis, I don't know.
Now listen this, Mr. Pierre.
Any one of them could tell him that. Toes could tell him that.
What year was Ivan, Mr. Pierre?
That's about 18, 19 years ago.
What year?
7 or 8.
What time was Emily?
1 year after.
All right. You call?
No.
So, after the passage of Ivan and Emily, the housing stocks in Grenada was severely depleted, affected. So the government of the day, the New National Party, had some discussion with the Chinese, Mr. Pierre. Because what was recognized, those persons who could have go to financial institution, went to financial institution, and got themselves sorted out. But there was a vast amount of people in this country who the means did not afford them to go to any bank or credit union to get any money. So it's like they could see how they could make it. In recognition, the NNP government then had this discussion with the Chinese to do some houses for those people, Mr. Pierre. Those lower income people who could not face any financial institution. 2008 came, the NNP lost. Out of the 2,000 houses, the National Democratic Congress said, give us half and give us some money. The last election, the people didn't approve of how they run the country. The NNP returned, and the housing from the Chinese, the gifts, came to fruition. Then NNP lost the election again. The distribution of the houses was not done. And since the Congress came in, Mr. Pierre, you could realize something was not right. First, they say we don't care who applied before or who had keen Karaku, everybody had to reapply. Then they start to complain about what the house don't have, you don't have cupboard, you don't have that. So it was a whole set, the stage was set as you say, the plan. And then, Mr. Pierre, the houses were in a state of readiness to be distributed. And them men and them, how Paul King Dollar say, master plan direction one, you know. Take it from the people it was intended for. You know. So, I say all that to say, Mr. Pierre, because the people could not have faced a financial institution, so why are you asking them to go there now, Mr. Pierre? Why are you asking the people who the houses was negotiated for and on behalf of, why are you asking these same people to go to a financial institution? You understand that, Mr. Pierre?
You want me to answer?
You have to answer.
NDC is not an inclusive government. NDC is not sensitive to the needs of the marginalized. NDC historically is the most hostile group to elderly, physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. NDC is the worst government. This group is the worst government that we ever had in the last 100 years. Every time NDC get a chance to run this country, they ruin the economy. In 2008, we thought it was the worst. I am convinced that this time, and I think the Minister of Labor and the Attorney General is worried too. When NDC finish with Grenada,
irreparable damage.
They will have irreparable damage. NDC is going after the caregivers. People who work for $100,000 a month. NDC is going after people who volunteer to help old people. This group of individuals is hostile, and that is why I consider them as vultures. While they're doing that, they decide to be pathogenic parasites on government coffers. The GDP, if 2 ministers is able to get a couple of $100 million, not a couple of hundred, $2 or $3 million from GDP, then automatically it would affect people that are looking for $30, $40 from getting that. And that is why you call them a pathogenic parasite. Look at how the government travels in Ghana. Who is paying the bill?
We are.
The very said people who are government, several of the members are also agents selling passport that they have to stamp. Now, if that is not opening the cesspool of corruption, then I want any moderate NDC to tell me what it is. Look at the vulgar action of the government in the United Nations. They gave the Haitian that they're going to champion the cause. And look at what they do.
Next week, they turn them away.
The government turned around and raised the price of sugar. I mean, somebody must ask, well, how you could raise the price of sugar? Then the government argued. After they raised the price of sugar, because it's the majority of people that using and consuming sugar is in the lower income group. And because of the hostility to this group, they raised the price of sugar. When people pointed out that, they say it's for health reasons. But yet, they want to increase the production of white potato. Now, if you're so health conscious, why don't you inform the individuals who are involved in carnival, jab, to discontinue the practice of oil oil? If you start to call them, maybe in the next 5-10 years, they might stop. Because they ain't hard like Google lament.
And it'll stick long to stop.
But since you playing jab, tell them that. So it had absolutely nothing to do with health.
They had hard like bow.
But the government bad-minded attitude, and the fact that the government is not an inclusive government.
But what gets me, Mr. Pierre, all of what you say is true about the housing situation. Every time they go on the media, they put a foot in their mouth and talk a set of tribe.
But if you're lying,
no, they're listening.
It's hard to handle lie.
They're listening to, and Gates has some of the things they are saying.
Yeah.
Play some clips in what they are saying. In any order, just play it, because let people hear what they are saying.
Doesn't make a difference. He had to handle.
You let people hear what they are saying.
There is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe they work well in the lower income bracket. I think condominiums, when you look at it in the States and stuff, it works better in a higher income bracket because people know they have to pay maintenance costs. All right? Regardless of what you pay for the condominium.
So simply put,
the house too nice
too good for them.
House too nice for people.
Simply put,
when I tell you the bad-minded, you think
and the whole and Gates man, let me eating. And the houses was negotiated for these people and Mr. Pierre. How now you telling them the house too good for them?
This Guinea video is a bad-minded.
Condominium, the man
they say, look at the houses.
And them saying that with a straight face, you know, Mr. Pierre.
How you get these people on them?
Have a heart. Let me hear something again.
These people are vultures.
No, what we have asked the financial institutions is that please cater for persons who are self-employed. In that, don't do the loans that they have to pay every month. You could probably change it up to every 3 months, every 4 months, twice a year, because when they get that lump sum, they can come in and pay. So we have asked them, I mean, it's up to the financial institution, but we have asked them, just as how NIS has gotten to the point where self-employed people paying NIS could come in and pay in chunks rather than every month. So that is on board. We have had 2 credit unions coming back to us immediately and saying, hey, you're going to get it under 5%. Probably closely around 4, under a little bit under 4%. So they're very close to what I'm talking about here. In the one that is $73,000, if you take it for 30 years, and they're willing to give 30 years, you will only pay at 3% $308
per month.
Per month.
Okay.
All right? But even at 4%, you'll be able to pay about just around $400 or a little less than that. All right? So it depends on where you are. If you tell the financial institutions that I could only pay $350, they will decide with the interest rate how many years they could give you for that. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. But we know for sure you can get up to 30 years. We know for sure all they're asking you for, like couple of the credit unions, is your job letter. And you, just as how you fill out in the bank, what are your liabilities? In other words, what are your expenses for the month?
Your budget.
Your budget, yeah. Right? Some might ask you to join, and others might not ask you to join. They just get it straight off.
But listen to me.
Man lying.
That lying. Because he know you have to have health life insurance. He know you have to have house insurance for the house. But what behooves me, Mr. P, again? He talking about some lump sum. You can't pay $400.
The man just telling lies.
You go pay a lump sum after 4 months. So after 4 months, it's $1,600. If you cannot pay 4 every month, how you go pay 16 in 4 months?
Our next one again. People must
ask yourself, why does a nation have to wait till a foreign body give them buildings for home, and the nation can build it for themselves?
Well, not necessarily homes, houses.
Yeah, houses.
Because there's a difference between
a house and a home.
How is that man attacking
A nation's supposed to be able to take care of its at some level to take care of persons.
So the nation's supposed to take care.
Sorry.
Go on. So the nations are also take care of the housing. The nation want to negotiate for the housing. As you say, Mr. Pure lies.
It's just bad-minded group of individuals. You see, they're in a very uncomfortable position because they're in a party that is not an inclusive party to everybody.
Let me take the call.
Yes, caller, welcome.
We lost it.
Yes, caller, welcome.
All right, they're back.
Hello?
Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon.
Morning.
Morning still. The gentleman that just spoke there, I heard him speak, and then I wasn't too clear on what he said. I heard other people say. But now I hear it clear again. And to me, from the first time the gentleman speak, I had lost confidence in him. I didn't have no confidence that he really, was on top of the... He make it worse now. Because here you telling people to accumulate money to pay for a house. They can't pay $200, $300, but you want him to accumulate that? I mean, that's craziness.
I tell you.
And the same, look at the people you asking for that. Then you still coming back and blame the state, and you speaking on behalf of the state now, Remember, the man is the chairman, and hear what he's saying. Why are the people have to depend on the state?
Mr. Bridgman, they watch the house and they said that house too good for these people. And they calling the house condo in Clifford.
Listen, the thing is, the man forget.
Condo, the man say.
Tell me which nation. Trinidad, look for countries for help.
Condos.
Dominica, look for it. St. Lucia, look for it. Jamaica, look for it. Guyana, look for it. And only now that gentleman realized that the state had to take care of their people. Only now, after Hurricane Janet, Gary brought in what we call the Janet House. A lot of people that didn't want it was glad after that time. Then we had the Red Cross houses here. So it's not first time organization bringing in housing. So, something wrong with the gentleman. I mean, I think he was just singing for his supper. Yeah, he had to obey his bosses.
Okay.
Something to obey his bosses.
Yeah.
I have a next call on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, go right ahead, caller. Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Every time
Morning.
I listen
to these things, I get more and more disgusted. I'm disgusted because of I don't know who's the man that just spoke about loan and getting loan and paying in lump sum and this bag of nonsense. But what I do know is that the persons who would have gotten letters for the housing program, for the houses, um, the one of them went to the bank and the manager well, let me know. One of the individuals in the bank actually said that this whole situation is pure nonsense. It's they as a matter of fact, they wouldn't be able to get a loan.
No.
Because of all the additional fees plus the $73,000 with all the additional fees, and they wouldn't or if they could come up with a collateral, like you have a piece of land or you have some form of worth. Now, the reason why the house is called low income housing is because these people have nothing. So the government has provided something, the houses or whatever they would have provided for them to have something. Now, wouldn't it have been easier to say, look, let's do a salary deduction? Because for who's working with government, or if they're privately working with the private sector, you engage the government and the private sector, and they say, well, look, we would like to do a salary deduction from these individuals because they own the houses, so that you wouldn't have a problem. I don't know if that's possible or that's what I could come up with.
No, but that's a brilliant idea, because you see, the reason they're talking about going to institution is our delinquency. They say the people that won't pay. So if you having salary deduction to me, that ensure that they
pay. Well, that's my thing. Some of these people are on contract and they're working with government. So what you should have most likely done is do a salary deduction from their salaries to ensure that you collected the monies, so that they wouldn't have to go to but this is just has been a properly executed plan. They sat down and thought about this, and as what Mr. Pierre said, the houses is probably too good, or they feel it's too good for them, so they don't deserve it.
Well, you say that the house too good?
Condos, the man say.
This has serious repercussions. This is a disgusting move by the National Democratic Congress.
And so the NDCs.
Listen, this is I couldn't. I mean, you when you see people who come who you see they're happy, they're able to get something to own or get something because they didn't have the means or the opportunity to do it, and now they have the means and the opportunity to do it. Turn around with their head down. They had bowed down to the ground because they're not able to get what the NDC send them to get in the banks. It's disgusting. It's unforgivable. These people are disgusting. There's nothing short of words for these people. You don't do people these things. You don't do people these things. Why would you do this? Why don't you just work with them? Do a salary deduction. Find some means of collecting your money. Why you have to send them to the bank knowing full well that they don't have the collateral, knowing full well that by the time they add on all the fees, that they wouldn't be eligible for a loan. So you know what the banker told her, or told them, or it's best if they just get a loan and buy a piece of land then, because it's probably cheaper based on the salary. Cheaper, yeah. Buy a piece of land, and then they pay back, and then they could do something after. You hear me?
Yeah, they build a thing.
This is the kind of advice.
It was a method to rub.
She doesn't have it.
To rub the face in the dust.
No, let me tell you what the method was, Mr. Pierre. The method was, when they see the houses, was to never give poor people children, because they already advertising those houses and them. So they say, so they frustrating whom they give the letters because they know they won't get it.
And listen, and they give them 2 weeks to come up with the money. 2 weeks to come up with the money. But let me tell you, Grenadians, some Grenadians that are living in a bubble. They are living in a bubble. they never thought they'd end up there from the latrine and the Janet house they was using. So they end up there now, and they forget if you have people on the ground that was like them and trying to reach up there too. You understand? But it's alright. That bubble must bust. It must bust. Reality must hit some of us because we talk a lot of nonsense about, okay, let those people let them pay, let them go to the bank, let them this, let them that, without having any form of empathy in their hearts for people. But the bubble going to bust. Maybe sooner rather than later. Thank you very much.
Yes, scholar. Them members go in GDB bank and get money. The government create advisory lead. First time I hear this one. I have an advisor.
Have a next one again.
Yes, go right ahead.
Selected applicants will be contacted by the authority to visit our office first to collect the notice of offer to purchase. The applicant will then be required to seek financing to confirm the purchase of the unit, or if they have the finance, they can arrange for direct purchase from HHE. I repeat, you will be required to seek financing to confirm the purchase of the unit, or you can arrange for direct purchase from HHE if your financing is available. So it means that collecting the notice of offer to purchase does not guarantee purchase of the unit.
See, you hear?
A meeting was held between the
No
authority,
guarantee.
the banks, and other financial institutions on September 22nd, 2023. Insurance brokers were also present, who were all on board with us with the financing process. So there is nothing for the potential homeowners to worry about. The banks are already on board. The credit unions are on board. The lending institutions and insurance brokers are already on board. We have received notification from some of these institutions that they would be providing low-cost interest rates ranging from between 3 and 5%. The loans will also be backed by and guaranteed by the Housing Authority of Grenada. So any loan that is issued by the financial institution will be guaranteed by the Housing Authority of Grenada. The insurance brokers have also expressed their interest in working with the providers of insurance to seek the most competitive rates for our prospective homeowners, because we will all agree that purchasing a home will also require you to get insurance.
Mr. Pierre, listen this. No, that caller to wait. She say, because there are certain things you have to explain, that the Housing Authority would guarantee any loan taken. So if the Housing Authority guarantee loan, what it means, once you, the guarantor, any delinquent is you to pay now, Mr. Pierre. But why put somebody, if the Housing Authority is ready, willing, and able to guarantee the loan, Mr. Pierre, why put somebody to it where you have to pay insurance and all these kind of fees? Why put poor people, children through that?
Vultures.
Because if you could guarantee it, there's no reason according to Dennis. So you say there's no reason for a parallel. There's no reason to send them anyway.
Pathogenic pass.
Just let them pay you. Well, this thing, because what? Let me tell you what happened, Mr. Pierre. When they start this housing thing, people talking and they're trying to fix it on the fly. So that's why they're making all that stupidness on them. Let's take the caller now.
On the WhatsApp, hello?
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. Morning. The more I try to wrap my head around this housing issue, is the least I could find words to describe, to explain what actually is going on there. I mean, I think I'm a word millionaire, but I just cannot find words. It is beyond comprehension. That's the point about the whole thing. You listen to the two people you all just played there. One was the chairman and whoever the other one is, maybe a permanent secretary, I don't know. The lady, I don't know who she is actually. But you listen to the arrogance of the chairman, who I understand to be the chairman. You listen to the tone of his voice, relative to the condo description or explanation of what the whole thing is.
Condominiums.
And you could see arrogance, or you could hear the arrogance in the attitude. So
Some
what I'm trying to
condescending.
understand now, is the government being run by technocrats now? The policies and program of a government comes from inside of cabinet. And I'm yet to understand how on this earth in this country right now, I mean, maybe I should understand because it's a set of whatever you could call them that is responsible for that now. And here you have these people sit down in cabinet, and I'm yet to understand how they come to that conclusion relative to the housing issue now. When you have people like Andy, you have people like Persuader, watch me, I'm yet to understand it. I'm yet to you have people like Dennis, and I need to call Dennis and talk to him. I mean, I might get personal in some issue, on some area when it comes to that, because the thing is so irritating.
And he representing the constituency.
But the thing, and as my good friend, I have him on WhatsApp. I talk to him once.
Talk to him. He's the only hope. He's the only hope.
Dennis is right now. Dennis is the only hope.
This issue is going on now. I haven't had the chance to talk to a few of them. And Telesport, for example, that's my good friend. We'll stop and talk all the time. Watch. This thing is so beyond comprehension, that to find words for it is dumb and senseless. You become dumb in the process, you might say.
Yeah.
But more than anything else, there are some perceptions that have developed in this country and become convincing to some people that the Kit Mitchell administration didn't do anything for all the years. On top of that, they are putting some 23 years as having been in control of the country. Hello. The devastation that was done from 2008 to 2012-13 by the NDC administration of that period. And you look at the revival and the resuscitation that was done by Kit Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, and all the other ministers that were there between 2013 and 2022. It's nothing short of America.
Caller, we're running out of time, caller. Thank you. We're running out of time.
And, yes, I understand. And every time you hear the people talking, and you know, yesterday after I spoke, Carla, I'm glad you remind me because it came to me after I spoke yesterday on Mr. Pierre program. That is $110 million that was owed to local business people and so on. The local debt was paid almost immediately.
We got to continue. We got to continue. We're running out of time.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, just rounding up time now. Yes, my brother.
All right.
Rounding up time.
Let's take it.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Caller, you got to be quick.
Yeah, okay. I just want to, I don't know if the chairman of the board was speaking out of ignorance or he just lying, but the issue of going to an institution and getting less than 5% or between 3 and 5 is not a statement that could be made easily. Interest rate is a regulated affair by the ECCB. No institution, financial institution can just unilaterally decide how much is going to charge for loan agreements and so forth. There is a band that the ECCB permits, and it's equal across the board for the jurisdiction. So I think it's a matter of ignorance or just blatant lies.
Lies, man, nothing short lie.
Yeah. So I just thought
they good at that, they plan it.
That is an important thing.
I have one last clip, you know. All right, Carl, thanks.
You gotta be,
it's not too long, Mr. We're good.
And we have been speaking about the whole question of giving you a unit. And when we speak of a unit, we mean a condominium unit pursuant to the Condominium Act of Grenada, which came into effect since 1978, but has not really been used. But the Housing Authority has decided, based on the construction and how they wish to dispose of these units, to use the Condominium Act. And what does that mean? The Condominium Act means that we are giving persons a freehold interest in a complex. So you own, so when you walk in and you turn your key, it is your unit. You don't have a landlord, you are now the owner. What is the benefit of having the condominium unit, having the condo unit, which is a freehold, as opposed to leasehold? You don't have a landlord. When you have leasehold property, you have a landlord and you operate on specific terms of the landlord. You breach those terms, you are out of that property. The condo unit is a little bit different. So if I may just go into a little detail, it is an individually owned residential unit in a complex of buildings. The condo owners own their units but share common spaces and amenities. So in that regard, you will share your common spaces, and that will be governed by the Homeowners Association.
But Mr. Pierre, this thing, those song thing.
We're going to spend quite a lot of time on housing. The long and short of it is the National Democratic Congress deliberately leave the people in the lower income out.
They find the house too
They
good.
believe the house is too good for the people they call nasty people,
Needy and
classless
greedy.
people, and greedy and needy. Poor people. And this is why the opposition leader then Tobias said, the NDC is not an inclusive group. This is why Black Wizard said, inside NDC, you have NNP.
No, but Mr.
So
Pierre,
you individuals that supported NDC and you can access this house, you should
but she said the condominium is yours.
Yeah, the condominium.
But it only could be yours after you pay the $73,000.
That is just trickery. It's a means of...
Everything they're saying, Mr. Pierre, I keep telling people that is intent to deceive the Grenadian public. The only person that attempted in the whole bunch to be straight is the Attorney General, because he said, let's be straight. This thing could have irreparable damage. She's the only one. Whatever attempted to be straightened. Because before she say what she said, let's be straight with the Grenadian public, the IMF want us. And it was if we continue to do this nonsense, it will have irreparable damage. Let me take that last call, Igor. 2 minutes.
Caller, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, that young lady that's speaking, she could speak nice about the houses.
What she do?
He don't just come and
No, Dick. Just don't let people share their opinion. Don't think. Yeah, Mr. Pierre, so we had a nice program today. And we will continue to stay on the beat.
NDC had to go.
Yeah.
NDC had to go, man. Are you finished? Are you good?
But the bottom line is Gates. Not we don't, I must say this. All the old talk, what these people are thinking and songing nice. The bottom line is the Chinese government give a gift to the people of Grenada. They forgot in that part. All this nice talk out condominium and freehold and leasehold, that was not part of the discussion. It was a gift for people who needed the place. So all what they could come and say now and already try to spin it. More they won't spinning themselves into a web of lies. They're charging for maintenance and insurance and it's free. You hear that, Mr. Pierre? Yes, callers and persons who participated in the program today, thank you. As we continue to bring the issues. My intention here, Mr. Pierre, is simply to make those like who speak on the housing thing, those who are comfortable, to make them very uncomfortable. And I will continue to do that as long as I have the breath in me. So take care, have a blessed weekend, the people.
We love you.
So Mr. Pierre, you see that movie and them already?
Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
It's a hungry world out there,
Everybody's scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful.